breaking silence as we intertwine. We're racing to the woods, unsure of what we'll find. I'll follow your lead and you'll follow mine. Tonight, you're chasing every step. We run like it's a riot to the water where the world leads, and then we dive to shatter the sky. So why the hell would I sleep when there is a better dream lying here in front of me? With every breath and every move, we watch the sun replace the moon. The night, stop time, let's rewind, do it all over. Your hand fits mine, pull me just a little closer, just to touch you, just to feel your skin, just to kiss you again and again. Take me back to the night, like a scene from a movie. Just gets better and better. Let's live that night tonight. Stop time, let's rewind, do it all over. Your hand fits mine, pull me just a little closer, just to touch you, just to feel your skin, just to kiss you again and again. Take me back to the
Hello and welcome. So this is going to be a live version of Grumpy's Rehab facility videos that I'm running for like ages now. This is going to be the 74th rendition. Let me just play some lo-fi music. Hopefully I'm not going to get demonetized, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't have any like music to play in the background, so I'm just going to play like music from YouTube. Happy New Year to you too, scared citizen. Also, this is gonna be live, and not only that I'm gonna go live, but you can also participate and you can contribute by hopping into my community channel and tell me if the audio is good, if it's okay. But let me just turn the music a bit more down. There we go. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna read out the letter of the chairman. Thank you, Isaiah Vasquez. A happy New Year to you too. So after that, I'm gonna be taking calls in my community discords, and feel free to hop in. I wanna hear your thoughts on the letter from the chairman, and I wanna hear what you think that we're gonna actually get in the next year, in in this year 2023, because audio is good. Thank you. Because I made a video a couple of days ago with my predictions, but I wanna do like a live podcast with you guys, like expectations versus reality. What do you expect to get? Like what do you think is gonna be like realistic to get in this year? So let's start off. Happy New Year to you too, King Grizzly. Let's start off with reading the letter from the chairman. By the way, I know that I have some people in the podcast, so what I want you guys to do, if you want to participate, if you want to speak your mind out, and I do encourage you to do that, hop into my community Discord and hop into the pre-podcast voice channel, and once I'm ready, I'm going to drag you in and we're going to talk. It's going to be like a one-on-one thing. Thank you, Duke Lukem. Happy New Year, tier 2. So, yeah. This happened 2 days ago. I read it out, and it was just funny. Honestly, it was just funny to me. So, Chris starts off with, "Hello, everyone. As we close out 2022 and head into 2023, I wanted to take the time to thank everyone for being such an amazing, enthusiastic, and supportive community. The not-so-secret sauce of Cloud Imperium's ability to have the time and the resources to build a universe of the detail, scale, and scope of Star Citizen is the community's full-throated embrace of the ultimate goal of a fully connected and simulated science fiction universe that allows players to engage in first-person gameplay and adventures almost without boundaries." I'm not the only one that got stuck on this. Like, I had to Google it because it sounded dirty. Like, I mean, I do have a dirty mind, but Jesus Christ, like, full-throated, awful wording. Yes. Happy New Year to you two guys. So let's continue. There is no other way Star Citizen could be built except for the community-driven funding model. I can agree with that. The investment, both in time and money, is just too expensive for a normal game publisher, especially a public one beholden to quarterly earnings reports and shareholders. Now, being a non-native speaker, I am gonna like stutter a lot and like get some words wrong, but fuck it. A great example of our ability to take the long-term view and invest in research. Like, it's funny that he started off with talking about the money, but okay. And invest in research and development that most projects don't have the time or ambition for is persistent entity streaming, or PES, which creates true lasting persistence for the Star Citizen universe. If you leave some equipment in a remote cave, and now it goes on into the cup in the forest, shoot down a bounty over Daymar, manage to fend off some pirates around Yela, the result of your actions will persist. Items, debris, ships, even dead bodies will all stay there where left, okay, and still will be there even if you log off and return a week later, assuming other players haven't taken or cleaned up the results of your adventures. Okay, so we tested it out. I tested it out on stream a week ago. It does work, although for me it worked like it was an hour later and like the empty bottle was still there. But I saw some videos on YouTube of people joining this like the next day, the same server. They joined the same server, and PES actually worked because their stuff was in the spot where like the stuff. Like I saw a guy that like dropped a bottle on Everest Harbor, and it was there like the next day. So yeah, PES works. One could argue that we don't know if that server crashed, but also why wouldn't it? Like the 30Ks are just like a common thing in 318 in the PTU, so we can say that the server most certainly crashed. Let me read the chat for a second. I'll be honest, I think we won't get much. No, don't tell me that in the fucking chat. Hop into my community channel and let's talk live. Maybe 2 or 3 new ships, 4 if we're lucky. No, we're gonna get like 10 or 11 ships. Come on. Just like every year we get around 10 ships and vehicles. I feel fully throated by a cactus after I finished Pirate Swarm and got the opportunity to spend another $110. Dude, if you spend like $310, you're gonna get a caterpillar. Yeah. It's so stupid that instead of them granting you a skin because you did something, they grant you an opportunity to spend even more money for a reskin, basically. Replace full with deep, and I'd agree, yeah, deep throating. So, I wonder if the letter was written by Chris or a ghostwriter. No, it was probably by a ghostwriter, by Jay-Z or whatever. So let's continue. Let me just drink some water. By the way, guys, again, you can hop into my community Discord. I can see that we have RCA Industries waiting in the pre-podcast area. And I'm gonna be talking to you after I read the whole letter out and give you my thoughts first. So, to do this for a universe as big and detailed as Star Citizen, to have this apply to everything, not just player-owned items, for an MMO with millions of players is a major technical accomplishment. I can agree. I'm not aware of any other large-scale MMOs that has tried to deliver this level of persistence. You gotta agree with this. But also, I can tell you right now that he started talking about money, but I don't remember that I saw like anywhere that he said thank you or that he said I'm sorry. I guess like those words are forbidden in CAG, but yeah. PS is the headline feature of Star Citizen Alpha 3.18, and while we didn't manage to release to live before the end of 2020 or 2022, it is currently in Wave 1 of PTU, and there are already lots of community videos and posts about emergent gameplay that is enabled by PES. I mean, yeah, sure, emergent gameplay, you finding a wreck or you finding a bottle is not really gameplay or emergent. Having PES is great for a bunch of things, but you don't really get like whatever, dude. Especially when combined with some other 3.18 features such as salvage and soft death. Salvage is trash. Soft death is a really good like step forward. He explains what soft death is. Whatever, we know it. PS is an example of how all your support has enabled Star Citizen to expand its boundaries and possibilities. Is this a thank you? Because it doesn't really look like a thank you, but okay. I don't know, like, I don't have a problem in thanking people that donate money to me through Super Chat or Patreon or whatever, or buy my merch, even though it's like not even close to the money that he's getting. I will thank each and every one of you. But this dude, like, no. It's just like normal to him, I guess. But the community's contribution goes much further than funding Star Citizen development. As contributing ideas, giving feedback, and testing the various updates we release are all part of symbiotic relationship between Cloud Imperium and Star Citizen community. Sure, buddy. Like, should I go into the issue console and check out how many of my issues got confirmed and never fixed? Should I tell you, not just me, but like a ton of fucking people that gave you ideas on how to fix something or what to do before you release something, and then you didn't take any input from the community, and then you released it in the broken state or unfinished state. For example, the imagery. Most of the content creators were like, when we saw the imagery, we were like, what the fuck is this? This is not going to work. This is going to be janky as fuck. And then a couple of months later, you still released it in the state like where it is right now. And a year and a few months later, we still have the same fucking inventory system. In 3.18, they added the move all button, but it doesn't really work with everything. And yeah, great. I'm so glad that he's listening to the community. There are plenty of features and content that I and the development team dream up, okay, but there are equally many things that come from you, the community. Sure. The development of Star Citizen is a fusion of development team and the community playing it. And you know what? Like, he is referring here to the people that made the racetracks that like imagined the racetracks for fucking years, and then they plunked a few assets to make the racetracks a thing and added a timer. And like, yeah, thank you community for talking to us. I mean, okay, ideas are passed back and forth, made better, released, tested, and iterated on. Some of the recent racetracks, exactly, that debuted. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this. Debut in 317.2 and now in 318 are the result of the community finding interesting areas to race around, and that's like the only example of you like talking to the community and like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, them upping the payout of the salvage is also one of the things that they did. So like they listened to the community, but also like it's just common sense, honestly, which in turn inspired developers to flesh them out and start to add time trial functionality to the ship HUDs. This is just one example. There are too many others to list in detail, as this same dynamic happens with everything in Star Citizen. I would not agree with that. Your actions in the verse inspire the Star Citizen team to improve and push the boundaries even further. Like, you can ask a bunch of old backers and they will tell you that they were getting they were giving input for years, and a couple of years, like 3-4 years later, CAG would actually listen to them. And then you will be like, are they actually listening to us, or did they just like realize that we were right, or did they even see our comments and our input, or did they just like realize that it should work like that, like a certain feature should work like that? It's just like, whatever, dude. Sure. And what is even more exciting is that this community grows larger and larger every year. More and more people discover Star Citizen through their friends, online videos, or people streaming their gameplay, and are intrigued and they jump into the verse. Okay, that is true, but also I can tell you that a bunch of people hopped into the verse, made an account, and they were like, dude, no. Like, for example, during the Invictus week this year, it was a free fly. I got 80 referrals in like that week, and this is just me. Like me, they have like I have basically a small channel, and like almost all of them refunded the game during the free fly. So yeah. The reason being is like the state of the game, because like the bugs, and during free fly, during the Invictus week, it was like literally unplayable. In my letter from the chairman in May of this year, I mentioned just how strongly we started 2022 in terms of new players joining the verse. That is true, okay. This trend has continued through the rest of the year, fueled by Invictus launch week, and I just spoke about that, and continued with the release of Alpha 317.2, which really should have been numbered as a full patch due to the number of features, content, and optimizations that we put in it. Okay, let me just select this word. Before we continue, let me just show you this, how much of a bullshit thing he said here. Give me a second. There we go. So if you go into the release view, so 317 compared to the others, characters 1 entry, locations 5 entries, AI 3 entries, gameplay 6, ships and vehicles 8, because it took them a whole fucking year, so they put out 8 ships, and 1 core tech. If you compare it to, let's say, 315, you can see that it's basically the same thing. Ships and vehicles, 7 entries. gameplay 10, gameplay 6, AI 1, AI 3. If you go a bit more back, like you can check this out yourself. 3.17.2 was called 0.2 because it was a 0.2 patch. It was not a major fucking patch. So yeah. But let's continue. Knowing that Alpha 3.18 was going to take extra time due to the complexity of PES, okay, the biggest headline of 3.17.2 was the increase in server capacity from 50 players to over 100 players, which was enabled by the ongoing multi-threading and optimization work the engine and gameplay teams have been working on in the background. That was a good feature, not gonna lie. Like before, you wouldn't see anyone in the verse. Now you can see people. Now there's more interactions. That's good. This enabled a more active and busier persistent universe for players and allowed for some truly spectacular player-driven events like 100+ person fleet battles or ship meets. Yeah, this is only done by streamers and YouTubers, and I was thinking about doing something like this at one point, but not really, not now. But the reason why this is not a big thing is because it's only happening because of the YouTubers and the streamers. It would not happen on its own by just like players. So it's not player driven, it's like streamer and YouTuber driven. Or maybe I'm missing something. Maybe like an org fought an org and they actually managed to do like a 50v50 fleet battle. But I don't think that I'm missing anything. And then like he shows the Terada screenshot. In November, we released Alpha 3.17.4 just in time for 2952 edition of IAE. Like, dude, like we wouldn't release 3.17.4 if, like, what is this warning? Just in time? Like, what does this fucking mean? Like, you released the patch because of IAE. You like, huh? And you got two new flyable ships, the Drake Cutter and the Corsair, as well as the RSI Galaxy. I would not talk about the RSI Galaxy at all. A large modular multi-role ship that has been added to the ship production pipeline. Sure, buddy. And a playable, nifty off-road vehicle, the Grey Cat Sports Terrain vehicle. We also added servers in Hong Kong for our exploding player base in Asia Pacific. All of this combined with the return of Jumptown and our other dynamic events like Xenothreat and Ninetales, Lockdown, blah 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 blah. The only good thing that they added here is the Hong Kong server base servers, and that's it. The STV, like, they released it just for the Daymar rally, and then like for it to sell good, they like lowered the speeds of all of the other land vehicles, so this one would prevail and be the fastest one and be the best one. So yeah, fuck this. Like I talked about that. Like I'm getting frustrated right now. Another okay. Honestly, I read it out like when it dropped, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it on stream at one point, and then I forgot about like some things that he talked about here. While our most passionate players test 3.18 in the PTU and our developers take a well-deserved break, I wanted to share with you some truly momentous stats from this year that illustrate that Star Citizen has its best year yet and crossed some historic milestones that demonstrated this game we all love is finally breaking into the larger gaming consciousness. Huh? No. What? With a success that is greater and faster than we have anticipated. That is not true. Like, level cap playing this game does not mean that a bunch of like the gaming community as a whole has noticed Star Citizen and has said that like Star Citizen is a good game and that they want to play it. 1.8, he's going to talk about it here. 1.8 million. Xenothreat never happened in 2022. I don't know. Maybe, Harrison, but I don't really remember. But 1.8 million players is not really that much when you like compare it to the larger gaming community. Our daily active users this year, unique players logging in each day, has grown 50% over last year and is double what it was at the end of 2019. We can only trust them on this because we don't have real numbers, because we don't have like an external thing that can measure that. Like, for example, if you go to Steam, on Steam you can see like I don't know, whatever game is there, like how many players are playing it on a daily basis. So that's Steam doing its job. It's not the developer or the publisher. And in this case, CAG is both. This year, we were also averaging over 240,000 monthly active users, which is 33% higher than our average monthly active users from last year, with heights over 400,000 during May with this year's Invictus launch week. Now, look, my whole org wasn't playing 3.17 patch cycle at all. We started it and we saw that it's broken, and then it was like the 0.1, which was the most broken patch that I played ever. That was like during the Invictus week, and then after that, we got 0.3, 0.4, 0.2, whatever. We just didn't play it. I didn't play it. Most people that I know haven't played it. And then this guy says that it's like 33% of growth. Okay, sure. Those of you who follow our funding tracker, he's still talking about the fucking money. Doubtless know that we have already eclipsed all last year's revenue by mid-November. Oh, is he gonna say thank you this time? And we will have our first 100 million plus year ever, and by a far margin. You can also read a more in-depth report of our 2021 financials here. Okay, but as great as 2021 was, which was remarkable for growing beyond the COVID bolstered revenues of 2020, we managed to grow 30% beyond 2021. Where does all of that revenue go? Right back into development. As we've hired more than ever before and continued to build out Squadron 42 and Persistent Universe teams. It is no secret that our two games and our technology are among the most complex and complicated endeavors in the gaming and even tech industry. We are doing things with our engine that are truly groundbreaking. Some things are, some things are not. So, okay. And it takes talent and time to achieve the ambitious goals we've set for ourselves. And so even as we grow, we invest all that growth back into our teams through hiring and retaining our critical talent. Okay. A huge portion of our growing revenue has come exclusively from new players that only joined Star Citizen this year. This should tell you something. If this is true, this should tell you something, because those new players have no idea what they're getting themselves into, honestly. Because the older backers, they know that if you buy a Galaxy, you're not going to see the Galaxy anytime soon. The new backers don't know that. So they bought it, especially for the Carrack as a loaner. So, in fact, this year we witnessed truly explosive growth over 800,000 new accounts were created this year to follow or play our project. Our new players this year have almost doubled this year. Okay, wording. Compared to last year, with over 500,000 new players joining us during free flights, dynamic events, and throughout 2022. And of those new players this year, 70% of them stayed. Ooh, I'm not sure about the 70% of them stayed around as playing as. Dude, okay, when I read it out the first time, I read it out as playing, but no. Dude said over 70% of the new players stayed around as paying players who purchased starter packs to get access to the Star Citizen Alpha to keep their adventures going in the verse. Paying. Dude, not only that he's not saying thank you, not only that, like, he's only talking about the money and the growth, he sees us as fucking paying players. And I'm pretty sure that he, like, the original was paying customers, but sure. Unique players per year, new accounts per year. Alright. You can check out these bars. They join, start an account, play the game, and never play again. Yeah, I know. Bar Citizen, dude, who fucking cares? Who cares? Honestly. It will be returning in 2023. Who cares about this? I mean, for people that went there, sure. I'm an introvert, so I wouldn't go even if it was like, maybe if it was in Belgrade, maybe I would go, but probably not. I would probably find a reason not to go there. I will probably meet somebody that would want to bash my head in because of my content, but yeah. Okay, so we are getting to some really interesting things here. New places to call home. In my last letter, we shared some early imagery of the new Manchester and Frankfurt offices that were previously under construction. I'm happy to report we have now moved into both offices. Frankfurt at the end of August and Manchester in mid-October. Having our staff together in the office makes a huge difference to our teamwork. We've struggled at times to hit our goals for 2022, you don't say. And while we will always achieve incredible things at Cloud Imperium Games, I have personally seen a significant change in pace towards the end of the year, resulting from most of us being in the office. Like, I can agree with this. I completely understand this. Which we were finally able to achieve once our two new offices in Frankfurt and Manchester were ready to be occupied. The huge new offices in downtown Manchester were especially important as we had grown way beyond the capacity of the old Wilmslow office during the pandemic, and so could not properly return to office until we had the extra space. Now that our teams have moved back in, we're especially eager to give you all a tour of the new facilities. They're probably going to make an ISC with like camera panning around the offices and them talking about where the teams are stationed, blah blah. That's probably going to, like, mark my words, that's going to be the first ISC of this year. We plan to do just that in the coming months as we wrap up final touches on the facilities. You can expect a video tour alongside the return of... I just skimmed over this. I just didn't read it. I don't care. A video tour... What? Huh? Alongside the return of a periodic studio tours for those looking to visit us in person. Sure. Like, yeah, if you spent like $60,000 on this game, you're gonna be welcomed there with, like, I don't know, a whiskey and a t-shirt that you gotta pay for. Probably. We're also planning on opening our doors for a couple of fun in-house events for our concierge and subscribers. Stay tuned for more information on that in the new year. We're probably gonna have to pay for it, whatever it is. Now, we're like, here we're getting to the meaty part. Last week, we opened the gates and welcomed Wave 1. It wasn't last week, it was like 2 weeks ago. Testers to check out the latest content and technologies in Star Citizen Alpha 3.18. This upcoming patch release marks a giant technical leap forward on Star Citizen's journey to deliver the uncompromising and near limitless universe that we've been all dreaming of. Sure. I agree with this. Far from our typical quarterly patch, yep, this release introduces fundamental changes to our entire backend, bringing an all-new set of backend services, granting universal persistence, and even the mass migration of the entire game state into the cloud, which is a tremendous undertaking and accomplishment for our teams. And now, since hitting Wave 1, tens of thousands of you have dived into the experience, the long-awaited salvage profession. That, like, salvage is bad currently. Like, it's like you can say whatever you want to, but it's just bad. An entirely new economic and non-combat career for pilots in the verse. The ability to salvage will allow pilots to retrieve valuable materials from target ships and sell them for profit. Why do we need to have any profit? We're gonna get wiped again. Money does not mean, like, it doesn't mean anything in this game currently. Like in-game money, the real money does to them. The new salvage profession is supported through the addition of the new technology and tools, including a complete cargo refactor, giving cargo a physical representation in the game, but just for the 1 SU boxes, not for the 32 ISU boxes, because we didn't have enough time for that. Alpha 3.18 also includes the launch of Drake Interplanetary Vulture, a new entry-level flyable salvage ship in the Drake lineup of vessels, perfect for pilots beginning their career in salvage, alongside updated functionality so reclaimer pilots can finally utilize their behemoth of a ship. Entry-level. You heard it here first. The Vulture is an entry-level flyable salvage ship that is, as stated, an entry-level ship that costs $150. $150 for them is entry-level. And there I was, thinking of how awesome it would be if CG did entry-level ships for salvaging, mining, etc., or maybe converted the cutter into like a mining cutter and then a salvage cutter, and you get a point. So just have different cutters and have like 4 SUs of cargo, or ships that have like up to, I don't know, 8 SUs of cargo, but you can still mine with them, and you can still, like, let's say you get a entry-level mining ship, size of a cutter, has the mining laser of the rock, and costs like $60, and you get it, and that's your entry-level ship. But no, for them, entry-level is $150. Like, what other game has entry-level features? Well, not really locked because you can buy them in the game, but like entry-level features that are $150. Can't wait until they say the Terrapin is an entry-level ship. Yeah. Like, this honestly pisses me off a lot, but yeah. Let's continue. While salvage, new racetracks, and the new points of interest As some of the other visual stimulating mechanics will take the spotlight, the largest change to our universe comes from powerful work under the hood with persistent entity streaming. With this new tech, all physical objects moved or placed by players will dynamically be tracked on the server they were moved on and remain in their new locations. PES represents the largest technical update in the game's history, true, and is a critical addition in laying the foundation for future technology and full in-game persistence that will unlock a new level of immersion in the verse. Where the fuck is the dot here? He does not care about the full stops. As we move towards making 3.18 stable enough to release to the live servers, I'd like to give a special shout out to everyone who has been testing 3.18 so far on the public test servers, especially those from our dedicated Evocati group who put many... I should probably turn my Steam off because I don't fucking care who logged in or whatever. Who put many hard hours in when the patch was in its roughest and most frustrating state. Thanks to our efforts, we've been able to iterate in real time and implement improvements and fixes quicker than ever. I'm not sure about quicker than ever because it took you a fucking year to put it into the PTU. Okay, not a year, 8 months, but sure. Like, if they still have staggered development, it's gonna be a year because 3.17 got released in April. Was it April? Let me see. Yeah, April. So if staggered development is still a thing, that only means that they started working on 3.18 around January, maybe February. Then they released 3.17. Then 3.18 was supposed to be drop in June into the PTU, but it didn't. And then it took them fucking 6 months from June to December just to like get it out into the PTU. But okay, looking forward. I'm not pissed off because I understand that this is it's new tech. It's probably gonna take a long time. And it would take any other studio a long time. So there's no reason to be pissed off because of PES and the delays because of PES. But there is a reason to get pissed off because of the next sentences that are going to happen. Looking forward to the road to Alpha 4.0. This coming year is going to be a huge one for Star Citizen, possibly the biggest one to date. That's what he said in, what was it, July? No, it was May when he dropped the original last year's letter from the chairman. But yeah. The first order of business is to continue to stabilize 3.18 so we can release to the live servers in January. Probably gonna happen in February, but sure. Once the team is back from their well-earned holiday break. Then we will continue to harden. And now I'm getting pissed off. Then we will continue to harden PES. The fuck does harden mean? So is this PES tier 0? But actually we need PES tier 2 for server meshing. Let me read it out a bit more. Improving aspects and adding some additional quality of life features, including the ability to choose which PES shard you would like to join. Why would they do that if we're gonna get server meshing? That's just like wasted time working on a thing that is gonna be obsolete with the next patch, right? So what's the point in doing this? I mean, I understand that I would love to join the same shard that I was in. I don't know why it isn't a thing right now, but if they didn't put it in, why would I even waste their time? Because this is gonna be obsolete once we get server meshing, right? The current game server PES shard matchmaking, Jesus Christ, tries to match you to the last PES shard you were in, when you log back in or recover from a crash. I don't know why this was so fucking weird for me to read out. Let me try it again. The current game server, let me fail again. The current game server PES shard matchmaking tries to match you to the last PES shard you were in, okay, when you log back in or recover from a crash, but if that shard is full, it places you in a different one. Okay. But in the short term, before server meshing makes this not necessary at all, we also want to give players the choice to wait in a queue for their preferred shard if it is full. Now let me tell you what I think why they will do this. First of all, because they should have done it immediately with the release of 3.18. Secondly, because they have no idea when we're gonna get server meshing. And this is what pissed me off a lot. The next step will be to separate the replication layer, the in-memory cache that remembers all dynamic objects state from the game server, and have a scalable replication layer workers that communicate the state changes between the various game clients, servers, and the replication layer. Blah. So PES is not done. There you have it. This is the first iteration of the PES because replication layer is a part of PES, but now it needs to be separated to be like, I don't know, like for it to now work on a server, but on a cloud. Therefore, it's PES tier 0. 2023 will be all about the replication layer. Just wait. Yep. Unfortunately, I completely concur. But let's continue. This is very important for server meshing, as universe state needs to be fully decoupled from the server state. It will also make Star Citizen much more crash resilient on the client side, as a server crash will no longer take down the replication layer as well. Okay, meaning that clients can stay connected while a new server takes over where the last one left off. I don't really know how this is gonna work. There is gonna be a delay. There's gonna be like a loading screen. There needs to be something, because dude, I've never seen this. If they pull this out without any hitches in the next 10 years, that would be amazing, but I don't really see this happening, honestly. This is like wishful thinking or just like marketing bullshit, but yeah. It will also have the added benefit of having the view every client has of the universe around it be a little more fluid with less lag, as the client's updates and refresh of object state will no longer be tied to the tick rate of the game server. This is important, this is really good, and this is them like thinking about the future of the game. And this is like, as I've said, this is really good, and I'm liking what I'm seeing here, but this is gonna take them a long time, at least a year. This means players will see state changes from other remote clients and game servers as they happen at the states the various clients and servers push them. Okay, whatever. Once this happens, we'll be able to have multiple game servers communicate with the replication layer, much like multiple game clients communicate right now with the replication layer, allowing Star Citizen to have multiple servers simulating the universe's state, which we call server meshing, or SNM for short. SNM. Like he is the sadist, we're the masochist. For fucking years now. But jokes aside, I'm gonna say that this is understandable, but also I don't understand why he said that we're gonna see server meshing by the end of 2018, then 19, then 2020, then 2021. But like the delay between 2020 and 2021, I gotta say this for the White Knights, that was like because of pandemic. But then it was 2022, by the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, and now we got to work on the replication layer, and we got to separate it from, like, and when I say that they're lying on Spectrum, because these are just lies, because they are not inexperienced game developers, they are very much experienced, and they know how long things will take. When I say that they are lying, I get a strike and a possible ban on Spectrum. At least I can say that on my own fucking channel. They're lying. We will start with static server meshing, where different servers are assigned to simulate different entity zones in a star system. Entity zones, sometimes referred to as local grids, are separate simulation areas. The inside of a spaceship is a different zone to the space around which the spaceship flies in. So what? You're gonna have a zone, like you're gonna have a server for a ship. They were talking about this a long time ago with server meshing. But this is like it doesn't really, like, how the fuck is this gonna work? The game is so okay. Let's continue. Like I'm really like weirded out by this, because we don't have the address, we don't have the Javelin, and they were talking about having separate servers just for the big ships, and then they started changing the ship requirements when it comes to like the players that need to be in the ships. So for example, a long time ago they were talking about the Javelin and how you would need like 100 people in the ship, or something like that, 50 people in the ship to for the ship to function. And now most of those ships are down to like 6 to 12 people, and then they're talking about having separate servers as they were before for big ships, but we don't have the big ships. So it's like a Connie, let's say a Constellation series, is it going to be a separate server or an entity zone? So yeah, I'm either missing something, or this is just like not being rational. But let's continue. A planet is a different zone than the star system zone, where all the planets and moons exist in. And a landing zone can also be a different zone nested inside the planet zone, nested in the star system zone. Okay, understandable, but also if you have a server that's the main server for all, like the star system zone, so like the players that are not on the planets, that are just like flying around, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have more of them than people that are gonna be like almost at all times, except like dynamic events or Invictus and all that. We're probably gonna have more people in space than on planets or points of interest or whatever. So the star system zone or the star system server needs to be fucking amazing if it's gonna work with like all of those people. At first, the servers will be bound to fixed zones, but we will quickly move sure. Move to dynamic server meshing version 1, where we assign servers dynamically to the entity zones based on gameplay and simulation load. Why are we talking about this? No, please talk about the replication layer and how much you will need to work on the replication layer. So, like, he skipped a step. He told us that they need to separate the replication layer from the servers for them to work on server meshing. And then he started talking about server meshing and how it's going to work, which we know. We already know. But what about the first step? The first step is more important because that's the step that that CAG is going to be working on for the next year, probably. Or this year, not next year. I'm still in 2022. So at first, the servers will be bound to entity zones, but we will quickly move to dynamic server meshing version 1, where we assign servers dynamically to entity zones based on gameplay and simulation load. This will be a much more efficient use of the servers in the cloud, as you only need servers where the players are, whereas with static server meshing, you have servers assigned to zones even if there are no players there. Yeah, that will be static server meshing. So if Lorville is empty, you're still gonna have a server for Lorville, and the server is still gonna be running. CAG's secret is always starts as step 3. Replication shouldn't be that bad, right? They've done something similar to saving cargo for server crashes. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not a developer, I'm a fucking musician and a YouTuber. Honestly, I haven't, no clue. That's why I want them to talk about that instead of talking about server meshing in the far future, because you'll see in a second what he said. Dynamic server meshing version 2 will take this dynamic assignment of servers one step further by subdividing entity zones into simulation islands. This is organizing the dynamic objects in one zone local grid into different groups based on which objects can interact, collide with each other, allowing these islands to be distributed between servers to again help balance simulation load. Okay, sure. At this point, we should be able to handle tens of thousands of players all playing in the same PES universe shard. Tens of thousands of players, bringing Star Citizen much closer to the ultimate goal of huge living universe densely populated with players and AI. Tens of thousands of players, of tens of the thousands of players. Are we really believing this? Are we really gonna trust tens of thousands of players? Because maybe there's gonna be tens of thousands of players, but how many players at the same time will you be able to see? That's the question. So I don't know if large-scale fleet battles are ever gonna happen if we can only see 100 players at the same time. And maybe the other players are there, but they're not, because you can't see them. Once we achieve static server meshing, we can open the universe of Star Citizen to other star systems, starting with Pyro. By having authority pass from one server to another, you'll be able to transition seamlessly without the need to log out of the game between star systems. This, in brackets, is very important because maybe we're going to have a loading screen. We will not need to log out, but maybe we're going to have a loading screen. We're aiming to put static server meshing and Pyro into the hands of players in the fourth quarter of 2023. The large caveat with this goal is that complicated engineering work that involves a completely new paradigm requires a host of new backend services. This is me like kicking my fucking table out of anger. In technology, it's hard to estimate and schedule accurately, as the issues and problems that can come up along the way are hard to foresee, as no one has implemented this system before, and plans rarely survive contact with the users, especially at scale. This has been true for PES, as it is no secret that we were hoping to have Alpha 3.18 and PES released to live by the end of the year, as opposed to just the PTU. No. You want to release PES or 3.18 to the PTU in June and then have it like there for 3 months and then release it. I mean, yes, by the end of the year, but no, we're not talking like it was more like September maybe. But yeah, sure, whatever. Delays in finalizing 3.18 and PES impact the team's ability to start on the next stage, and we still have the unknown of how PES performs after months of heavy load, and people seeing exactly how much space junk they can leave around. Honestly, I'm thinking about testing this in one of my next streams. If you guys want to join, we can just like go onto a server, like 100 of us, make it, I don't know, fill up all of our C2s and whatever we have, explode them, and see what happens. Let's say on Daymar, but whatever. But what he said here is delays in finalizing 3.18 and PES impact the team's ability to start on the next stage. So not only they haven't started working on server meshing, but they haven't started working on the replication layer separation. So yeah, fun. Beyond this, there are a host of other exciting features and content we have planned for 2023. Pyro, with its assorted planets, moon settlements, space stations, and assorted factions and AI population being the headline, but we also will be rolling out the new item resource system in ships, which replaces the old pipe system, which we never got in the game, so why the fuck are you talking about that? With a much more dynamic and scalable system to allow for truly emergent behavior. So resource management system, we talked about this. This was all in my predictions because you can call me Nostradamus now. I predicted all of this, the whole fucking letter of the chairman and whatever he said here. I predicted it in the last video that I posted, and this is just like, yeah. But here he's talking about the resource management system, and that thing is gonna happen on the Hammerhead and maybe a couple of other ships, and that's it. Not on all the ships, because they said that like they need a lot of time to like plug all the holes on all of the older ships and to bring all the older ships to the standard or the new item resource management whatever system. So yeah, bounty hunting with a full tracking system and the ability to actively restrain and transport both players and AI, persistent hangars with freight elevators, allowing you to call up your stored inventory or place things into storage. Like, this is all that I have said in my last video where I made the predictions. Towards the end of the year, we should see some of the more Squadron 42 related work arrive in Star Citizen, more flexible player Traversal, especially on ladders and ledges, a greatly improved interaction system, FPS scanning, the new star map, MFD, MFDs using the more performant and flexible building blocks UI system, and much deeper combat AI. Everything that I stated that's gonna happen the next year, that I predicted, the man himself said it here. And I truly believe that like 90% of this we're actually gonna get. Because 90% of this, except the persisting hangars, is needed for Squadron 42. Now that Gen 12 renderer is functioning in 3.18, the graphics team will work on multi-threading improvements and optimizations for the renderer, as well as hook up the Vulkan graphics API to it to unlock some of the performance gains that Gen 12 renderer can provide. There are numerous more things in Star Citizen team. No, there are numerous more things that Star Citizen team are working on for the coming year, but this letter is already long enough. Okay. So where is the prediction for server meshing? Looking back on 2022, it has been gratifying to see Cloud Imperium and Star Citizen community grow, blah blah blah, 1.8 million backers, accounts that have purchased Star Citizen, 861 employees. Okay, so from now on we can refer to CAG as a 900 employee company. We have achieved a lot this year, including our moves into the two blah blah blah. You already fucking talked about this. Final thoughts. All right. And wait. Oh yeah, okay. I completely zoned out. So we're aiming to put in a static server meshing in Pyro into the hands of players in the fourth quarter of 2023. So this is the biggest thing here, because when you know, like, we know them, once they say the fourth quarter of 2023, that means it's not going to happen in the next year. This is like as I predicted, not going to happen next year. What's up, Johnny J? By the way, I'm not really neglecting you guys in the chat. I'm seeing it, but I can't really read the chat and read this. So let's read out the last thing, because the final thoughts are just like whatever. He didn't say thank you. Let me search for thank you. Oh, thank everyone. Okay, so he said that at the start. My bad, I just didn't see it. Did he say sorry? Nope. Alright, so, but well, like when you thank everyone for, let me see what he said at the start. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, thank everyone for being such an amazing, enthusiastic, and supportive community. Sure, whatever. Deep-throated community. The universe and how you interact with it is up to you, from exploring does not fucking exist in the game, to hauling, trading, mining, salvage, refueling. Why though? Refining. Huh? Yeah, in the space stations. Bounty hunting, piracy is gonna be a thing in this patch, and this patch only, because before that it was just like them hoping to be pirates, but now they can actually pirate. To being a hired gun to what? To be a what? Who the fuck is gonna like do a Control F type story? Yeah, I did. To being a hired gun, like, okay, sure, buddy. I don't know if you played your own game, but that's not happening. To just sightseeing and being a social butterfly, sure. Like, mostly. Never. Exploring, never. Hauling, yeah. Trading, if you have to. Mining, yeah. Salvage, not really. Refueling, not really. Refining, no, not in ships, maybe on space stations. Bounty hunting, yeah. Piracy, yeah. Hire a gun, nope. Sightseeing and being a social butterfly, mostly. That's what people are doing because there's no game. And that is just what we have now. We have exploring, we have refining, we have higher guns, and that's what we have right now. In the future, you will be able to farm. I mean, farming is in the game right now. It's farming the salt in the tiers from the backers. It's an actual game loop for the developers. Or gather other resources, build, craft, and sell. Dude, when I saw that people said that like the vulture is getting crafting tier 0, like dudes, that is not crafting. That's just pressing a button and the ship giving you a thing. That's not crafting. That's just like them giving us something because they forgot about it. But also, if you're happy with that kind of crafting, why didn't why did it take them this long to give us something like that? Exploring and mining and farming, yeah. The universe of Star Citizen is a huge sandbox for everyone to play in, and I couldn't be more excited by what the future holds. Star Citizen is more than just a game. It's an escape to another reality where anyone can pursue their imagination, not bound to a single playstyle or profession, where they can interact with other players that share in the same common dream. That share in the same common dream. Okay, whatever. I feel incredibly lucky and wealthy and privileged to have the opportunity to pursue this dream with the amazingly talented team at Cloud Imperium and the support and patience of the best community in gaming and the best deep throaters in gaming, the Star Citizen community. From all of us, Cloud Imperium, we wish you a Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and Luminalia, and can't wait to continue to the journey to giving you JPEGs that will never come out, when modular ships, and with you in 2023. Okay, so we have read it out. My final thoughts on this is, Chris, dude, like, when is server meshing gonna happen, dude? Honestly, I have no idea when server meshing is gonna happen at this point. I wanted to be optimistic when I said that server meshing is gonna happen in 2024, and maybe if we're really optimistic, it's gonna happen in like 2023 by the end of it. But no, not happening. But okay, now we're getting to the part where I'm asking you guys to tell me what you think. So I can see that there is 100 of you in the chat right now. And for you that just joined, here's the deal. This is going to be a podcast, and you guys have an opportunity to speak your mind. So hop into my community channel. The link is down in the description of the video. Actually, let me just link it to you right now in the chat because I can. Never, no limit. Generate, copy, there we go. We currently have 2 callers waiting, and I do not have my scenes in OBS set up at all. But hop into my community channel. The link is in the chat right now, and you can hop into the pre-podcast voice channel, and you can wait in line, and I'm going to drag you in, and we're going to talk, and you're going to tell me what you think about all of this, and what are your expectations, and what is the reality? Like, what do you think that is realistically going to happen in 2023? So, our first guest is RCA Industries. Are you here?
Into my community channel. The link is in the
I can hear myself.
I am here. I can hear you.
All right, let me just.
Did we
switch
want to do
scene.
the other guy first, just because he's on his lunch break? Only has like 30 minutes left.
Okay, sure. You waited for a long time, but okay. If you
I'm free
want-
for the rest of the night, and I have to go over the entire letter in like under 10 minutes over your 75 minutes of letter. So let him go first. He's
right.
on lunch.
All right.
Yeah.
Never mind. So Grifter, are you here? Grifter, you are muted. Also, now we have an issue with OBS. Huh. The fuck is happening here? Grifter, hello. You are muted on your end. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Grifter? Okay. I mean, we were experiencing some technical difficulties, and he is muted for some reason.
Okay. Well, I can go then.
All right, give me a second.
No rush. No rush.
Oh, you have your... Oh, nice. All right. Let me just type your name out. I need a bigger monitor.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to shorten this up so it's not an
No, it's
incredibly
fine.
long time. I have my little notes here, so it's not a
Oh,
crazy.
you have notes. Nice.
I took notes the whole time just to make sure we don't get too off topic.
Nice. Alright, I think we're set. Yeah, we should be set. So, first off, what do you think about the whole letter?
I think if you take the dates and you switch them to 2024, it makes more sense. Is the short answer.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. That's the long and short of it. I think everything he said is 18 months out is the way I would look at it. Just, I haven't been here as long as some people. I've only been in the game for almost 3 years now. But you take anything he says, you add 18 months to it, that looks like about a fair assessment. Continuing on with some of the stuff in the comments with the chat that I have some quick little notes on. I want to talk about the future real fast and tell you your opinions on this as I go through them. Obviously, I think the SRV is probably going to make an appearance here. I feel like that's really close to being done, and then the ships are going to get their tractor beams to start hopefully be able to move stuff. I see some type of hover tank, maybe with like a ballistic Gatling on it, because they have the hover quad. So maybe some smaller hover vehicle that doesn't compete with the Nova's size 5 cannon. Which, side note, in the PTU, the size 5 Slayer cannon absolutely destroys ships. They'll come up to you thinking you're not a threat at all, and you can just one-shot them. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
When it comes to Pyro and the solar flares, I feel like they already have a system in place they just didn't tell us about. Both the Mantis and Cutlass Blue do have their quantum entanglement systems, and I feel like maybe that give them more use if you had the Cutlass Blue or Mantis with you that could turn on some type of dampener to maybe dampen the effects of those flares on your ships. So maybe there's more use now to actually have a Cutlass Blue or to have the Mantis in a group situation. So I feel like right now outside of piracy, they're basically useless. Continuing on with it, I think the Raft is going to have more use when tractor beams do come out. It does have an insane quantum load. I believe it's like 27,500 and something, which is
give me a second. Grifter is in the chat right now. He said it's not giving permits. I'll be just back out. Just close Discord, reopen it, try to get your inputs, and I'll drag you in after RCA. So for anybody else that wants to join, feel free to join. Please continue.
So continuing on, I feel like I was saying, I feel like the Cutlass Blue is sort of underrated. No reason for anyone to really spend 170 it cost to even get the thing or rent it for that matter.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, people do forget though that its combat speed and max speed are actually much higher than normal Cutlass. It's only 10 meters per second slower than a Gladius, so it's actually very quick. So if they did that ability to sort of help with pyro, I think it'd help a lot. And then the last two quick points I had was there are still 5 other alien races in Star Citizen. We've only seen ship manufacturers really sort of work with 2 of them. So I feel like we will see more other manufacturers come out in the coming years because, they want their money. And then the last thing I have was I think the reason why the marketing team puts the Vulture as a beginning ship for 150 is because the E1 Spirit is also 150. And the E1, something you can just, when it's available eventually in 3 years, you could just pop that out and immediately start doing missions and making that money, just like the Vulture can. Just like the Genesis is being 400, the same as the Reclaimer. And I think that was their logic. The Reclaimer is 400, the Genesis is 400,
No,
the E1 is
the Reclaimer's
150,
price
the
is going to
Vulture's
go
150.
up. The
Oh, I'm sure it will.
like,
Yes.
Yeah. But I have a gripe with that because $150, the Prospector is $150 or 55, something like that. The Expanse
155,
is 155. And like it's not really an entry level ship, right?
No, it's definitely not. No.
Yeah. So
I just think their marketing team thought, hey, if it's 150, let's make it 150, and they like money.
yeah, sure, but like you also have a Cutlass that is
True.
$100. The Freelancer is 110, I think, something like that.
Very true.
So, like those are entry level hauling ships, or you can even call them piracy ships, like the Drake Cutlass, because of the tractor beam and all that. But yeah, $150 for an entry level ship is
Very
like,
expensive.
Very expensive. Like I'm happy that I wasn't the only one to like point it out, because like I'm from Serbia and that's like half of my rent or what it was before the Russians came and all the rents went up like 100%. But like $150 is like half of a monthly pay here in Serbia, and like even in US it's not like cheap. So yeah, I don't know, but tell me, okay, you gave me your expectations. Now let's try to talk about the reality and what do you think is gonna actually happen in 2023?
So I believe there's a believe and hope. I believe what's actually going to happen is we're going to have 318 come out here probably end of January, beginning of February. Is my suspicion. I think for Invictus, I think we're going to have probably that next 318.1, whatever you want to call it. I think for IAE, we'll maybe
we're
a
probably
second.
gonna get the Hull C during Invictus.
Yeah. So, well, maybe. I mean, Invictus is all military stuff. I feel like what I think might be a higher probability is I know they've hinted in the past in lore that the Hull series do have military versions. So it's possible we might see the military variant of one of the hulls for Invictus. And they might wait till IAE for some of the other. I mean, who knows, right? It's all their marketing team, I think, making these decisions. But
yeah,
I do like the theoretically you could land ships on the bigger hulls and use that to transport them if you have a pirate org. So who knows? I mean,
yeah, the hulls are gonna be easily pirated, but they're also gonna be really good for piracy, because you don't need to like drop crates inside a ship, but you just like they snap on the grid on the side of the ship, and it's just gonna be easier with the tractor beams. But I also see the SRV being released during Invictus.
yes. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe
It's just,
after that, but yeah.
I think the other thing too is I think they've hinted at some type of large ground vehicle, and I think the SRV is going to be really important to move that. I don't think the C2 or the M2 or any of that's going to be able to move it, just because the Nova is already almost maxed out for height for that large transport. So I feel like we're going to see some large vehicle that requires that, space tractor to move it around from planet to planet. They already said the tractor can move a Nova, so there's no reason why it couldn't move that larger vehicle.
Yeah, it can move everything up to like, so the SRV is supposed to move an Andromeda, for example, but anything bigger than the Andromeda is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're going to see some large vehicle come out here during Invictus, some large military vehicle.
Um, okay, maybe. I mean, I can tell you that they currently have like 4 concepts that they're working on, and 2 of which are smallish. One of which is going to be like a medium-sized ship, and one is going to be large to capital. I just saw the progress tracker, and I saw like how many weeks they have been working on it, and how many weeks are left. So I think that like the longer they take, the larger the vehicle is, right? But those are just concepts,
Yes.
and we have 2 unannounced ships or variants that are going to be released after 318. But I don't see really like they would probably hype that up before releasing anything in 2023, right? So,
Absolutely.
for example, like the Corsair and the Vulture, they were announced as concepts back in 2018, 19, something like that.
Yeah, it was
And
way
they
back.
Yeah, and they just dropped. What was the last concept? So we have the E1, A1, and all of that was announced start of last year. Still not in. Before that, the MSR also took like 2 years or 3 years, something like that. So they're probably gonna release, if they're gonna release anything, they're gonna release it as concept and then hype it up for the next year or 2 and then release it. I don't like.
Yes.
Maybe they're gonna release another variant of the Atlas. So the Atlas chassis of what's it called? The Centurion, the useless. We have the Ballista, the Centurion, and the Spartan, the most useless vehicle in the game. They're all old builds on the Atlas chassis, so maybe they're going to release something like that. But I have no idea what else is there, because we have a transport, we have maybe a cargo vehicle on an Atlas chassis, like.
Yeah, I foresee maybe a larger Drake Mule that could maybe hold more, could possibly come out. And then, of course, there's the motorcycles that all have to come out too that are probably pretty quick to do.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
suspect to see those in 2023. When it comes to Pyro, I feel like sometime in 24, we'll probably have Pyro being separate, where you have to pick which system you want to go into. And that's going to take another probably 2 years, and then they'll have them somehow combined, but it being glitchy and bugged. So I think realistically this year, I mean, what will make me happy would just, as not happy, content, would be if I see maybe some of those speeder bikes come out, right? Maybe a larger mule, like I think they average actually 10 or 11 total vehicles a year if you include vehicles and ships.
Yeah.
So like I said, some bikes, maybe a larger mule type transport on that chassis.
We're gonna have the Lynx and we're gonna have the X1. So the RSI Lynx and the X1 are currently in production. So those one are basically confirmed, right? The Lynx is gonna be like basically the same size as the Ursa Rover, and it's like, I don't know the lore behind it. It only appeared in the in one screenshot or one concept art of the what's it called, Pioneer. So after that, they said, and that was like 6 years ago or something like that. They said that they will release it as the RSI Lynx, and now they're currently like working on it. So that's gonna be those are going to be 2 land vehicles that are also going to be LTI tokens. And then we have like variants of the X1, the racing variant, the fighting variant, or whatever. And then like, yeah. So I don't know. Like for the next year, I don't really see that many different ships to what we have right now being released. Like you said, the hover quad tank. That would be nice. That would be amazing. That would be like red alert. But also, do you really see it happening before them selling it for like $100 concept price and then taking like 2 years to release it?
The only reason why I see it happening is it's small and quick to make, especially if it's a lot less armored and has a smaller size, gun than the Nova has. The other reason too is I like to follow the gray markets, even though I don't buy anything on there. And the cutter right now is going for $90 in a lot of the gray markets, which is insane to me. I think people
Jesus.
probably bought it for like 40. So
Yeah.
I feel like the marketing team would know, hey, we can release something for like 50 or $60, and then everyone's going to buy them, so the gray market can boost it up. So it's more quantity over quality.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see it. So I feel like there is a place eventually, if we ever do have like assaulting bunkers with working defense systems, I see a place for a hovering attack vehicle of some type that's bigger than a hover quad that has, legitimate weapons on it. But that's still years, I think, down the road where we actually would need it. But I think they like the money and it's quick to make is what it comes down to.
I mean, they probably like push out some concepts of that once they introduce or once they start talking about the new bunkers that they're working on. So they will say that you will need that for the new bunkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I
Exactly.
would love, and I wanted to do a Christmas stream, but it's good that I haven't because nobody was online during Christmas. I released the video, a song, and nobody saw it, basically. But I wanted to do a Space Engineers stream. I built a tree, like a Christmas tree and all of that. But I wanted to build a couple of ships or land vehicles that I wanted to see in Star Citizen. And one of the land vehicles that I would love to see would be like a huge-ass rover, like a huge rover, like a size of a Carrack, or maybe even a bit bigger.
So to go back to Red Alert lingo, you're talking about like a Mammoth Mark 1 almost.
Mammoth is a tank, right?
No,
With
the
dual-
Mammoth Mark 1's the big four-legged walker from the Tiberium Wars.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Something almost like that you're talking about, some big
well,
four-legged,
yeah.
walker that could just walk across the landscape.
It can be a rover with like huge ass tires, but I would love to have it because first of all, it's gonna traverse over like the rocky terrain easier because it has huge tires, but also I would love to have that as like a mobile base. So it will have like a refinery. It will have smallish cargo hold. Not really a cargo hold, but like a hold for a couple of gray kit rocks, which could like just go out and mine rocks around it, come back in, drop the rocks, the gems into the cargo hold, go back out, and then you have like prospectors and moles dropping their stuff into the rover, and it will just like be a mobile base / refinery. And then after that, you come in with a caterpillar, for example, and just like toss everything in, and you go and sell it. But the main like rover just stays there wherever you placed it with your Argo SRVs, so you can like transport it with a couple of them, and you can drop it on Daymar and just go and go nuts on Daymar or Yella or wherever. So I would love to see something like that, but I don't really know that. Like I can't say that would ever happen in Star Citizen, at least not in the next like 2 years. I don't know. So what are your expectations patch wise for the next year? So
So my expectations would be probably hopefully having a little bit better of the server ping, so maybe less lag overall. So updates in the graphics and how the game operates is the hope. I also hope to see more crafting. I like you can sort of make your tools in the Reclaimer and the Vulture. So maybe that'll open up to more ships because they already sort of have that, it seems like, in the game. I mean, I want to say I'm a simple man, but at this point I'm a realist, right? I can say all these things I want to happen. I feel like realistically, hopefully we'll have crafting, we'll have some server improvements so it crashes, 5 times a day instead of 6 in your hour play. Yeah. I mean, those are the big things to me. I think crafting is a cool little side thing they did just to sort of help you, right? It's annoying to always remember to bring your tractor beam when you try to go reclaim stuff. So it'd be neat if you could just make it there. It'd be neat if on a mole, for example, you could make a multi-tool to go hand mine if you find something small somewhere that you might want, right? Or something like that, prospector. I mean, we'll see.
But how many patches do you think we're gonna get in this year?
2. I think we're gonna have 2. I think there's gonna be one what comes with Leviticus for the Leviticus update, and then a bunch of stuff with that. I think there'll be one for IE. I think there's gonna have 2.
I mean, they're like maybe 2 major patches, but it's probably gonna be like 18.1, 2, and then
Oh, yes, absolutely.
19,
Yep.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. I think there'll be 2 majors and a bunch of little tiny ones.
Yeah.
It just, I, at the end of the day, they're setting up their new offices and they like to take their sweet time, as we all know. So I think they'll say, hey, we did twice as good as last year. Last year we got 1 out. This year we got out 2, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he'll make some big claim of how wonderful they did because they got out twice as many as last year, but 2's
Yeah.
not.
It's 100% difference, dude.
Yeah, so they're gonna tell us. I'd be like, but
Yeah.
it's 2. You used to do like 3 or 4. Like, what is this crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to add? Because I don't know if Grifter needs to go, so I want to get him in.
No, get him in. Absolutely. It's been great talking with you. I'm happy to support the channel
too,
and
dude.
happy to be here.
Thank you. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, oh, what the fuck did I do? I left my own channel. So for you guys that wanna join and that wanna speak your mind out, we only have Grifter in the pre-podcast area right now. If you wanna talk to me, if you wanna speak your mind out, hop into my community channel and hop into the pre-podcast area, and I'm gonna drag you in after Grifter. Grifter, you are muted again. Let me try to unmute you. Nope. Grifter, you here?
Here? Am I here now?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
You can hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
All right. First of all, thank you, Grumpy, for everything that you do. Thanks for having me on, and Happy New Year to you and
You
to
too.
your entire audience out there.
Thank you. Also, thank you for watching and for participating.
Thank you, sir. I unfortunately did not take notes, but
That's fine.
I'm a relatively new player. I've been playing maybe 8 months, maybe 9 months. I got in at the tail end of 17.1, like somewhere around 4 to 6 weeks before that ended. I guess we'll start with this year, or 2022.
Okay.
I started off with really high hopes in this game. I had a 3-4 month-ish honeymoon period. I was following everything CIG
you
put
started
out.
playing this year, right?
I started playing this year.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I started off in the honeymoon phase, and it lasted like 3-4 months. And I was following everything CIG put out, all the ISCs, the roadmap, all of that stuff. I gave up on that really quickly. I felt that not only had I spent money with a game that I thought was going to be more than it was, and I felt somewhat slapped in the face by a lot of the stuff that was put out. And that's from a new player. I'm sure the older backers have way more to say on that than I do. But a year-long patch is kind of ridiculous. And we got what out of it? Refueling and 100 players. Now, granted, yes, 100 players is really cool because when I first started, you couldn't find anybody. There was nobody in a station, and God forbid you were at one of the Lagrange points. You were out there in empty space. There was nobody there. So I mean, yes, that was cool, but what else did we really get this year? I mean, if you can
Not
answer
much.
that question for me, that'd
Not
be great.
much.
I mean,
Honestly,
we got
I mean,
what?
I can read it out. We have the release view open still. We got Daymar. No. This is 318. Sorry about that. We got the Area 18 hospital.
Oh,
We got 2 derelict spaceships. 2 of them. That's amazing. We got Gravlev. Well, fuck. No. This is 316. What the fuck am I doing? Sorry about that. So, yeah, DNA texture update. Locations, outposts, derelict outposts. We got additional Stanton Lagrange points. The derelict reclaimer settlement, which is one of the 2 that we got because we got one in space, like the space mission. We got the space station clinics. Maria Pure of Heart Hospital. Planetary navigation, like the nav meshing, that doesn't really work. AI dropships and reinforcements that don't work. The coffee shop vendor, the most important update ever. the derelicts,
So,
reclaimer space missions. Yeah, so we didn't really get
so
much.
we did get a lot. I mean, from a new player's perspective, it sounds like a lot. I didn't go out to my first derelict until they added the quote unquote dropship reinforcements, and it was just killing guys in a cuddy. It's
Mhm.
I mean, they never even. I did it like 5-6 times, and they didn't leave. Siege of Orison, okay, yeah, that was okay. It was okay when it worked. Um,
Mhm.
Siege of Orison 2.0, it was better, but it still had its issues. I just feel like a lot of the times there's a lot of taking of money from players with no, and you said it best, there was no thank you in that entire letter that I heard.
I mean, there
And
was at the start, like, thank you to everyone, basically, to like God and my mother and my father, etc., etc. Like, it's not like
and then
thank you
followed up.
for supporting us, etc. Like, thank you for giving us all the money and giving us like believing in us and trusting us that we're actually going to do something, even though this year was really bad. Like, if he said that, I will be like, okay, Chris has some Chris has some potential. But
Yeah,
honestly, like reading the whole letter out, he was like, yeah, we're growing, we're doing better. Fuck you, fuck the rest of you, and that's it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Mm.
I don't feel that a lot of people want progress to be a lot faster, especially once again, the older backers that have invested a lot of money into this game. And it feels like it's just slowly turning. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes from. I too have, as you stated earlier, I too brought in a few buddies and friends, and they dropped a lot more money than I did and played for about a month, and they haven't been back. And that was 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So it is what it is. I play pretty much every day, but nothing changes. You're still fighting desync. You still have to. I had a notebook sitting next to me until I figured out all the reworks or all the workarounds for every single bug there is in this game, and I
Yeah.
think that's also horrifying that I have to sit here and explain to my new friends, oh, if this doesn't work, you have to do this. If that doesn't work, you have to go around and do this. If you get the arm in your face, you have to log. Um, I don't. Instead of seeing new ships come out, and I know this is a hot take or controversial, I would like to see some more work done on what's already currently in the game. Why do we have to keep playing these games with workarounds for all these various bugs and glitches? Yes, I know I hear the excuse it's an alpha.
It's not
Um,
that it's an alpha. Like the issue is, like until the game gets released and completely done, then like there's no point in them fixing some of the things because they're gonna break. Uh, Give me a second. Something is happening to my stream. The audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. I don't know why, but yeah. Tell me in the chat if the audio is fine. But like, for example, they changed the facial animations a bit in that like 30k the servers. Like, you're gonna have, whenever you add, like, if you ever modded a game or whatever, if you like change a text somewhere, it's gonna it's gonna completely break the skybox, for example, because everything is tied in together. And I
Understood.
understand that they can't really fix all the bugs, but like having like game breaking bugs that are completely destroying our gameplay, that like, because you need to spend an hour to get set up with your org and I don't know, do something, and then you die just by like walking around the place or to an elevator or whatever. That's a serious issue, and they are not fixing that for fucking years. That's like my main gripe. If you have bugs like, I don't know, the weapons changes in your hands like it does, it's gonna happen in an alpha. It's fine. I guess it's fine. But Jesus fucking Christ, if you die to an elevator again in the next patch, like they are not doing anything to fix the elevators. That's the issue.
I'm glad you brought up the PTU. I subscribed to play the PTU, and I think I've played it a grand total of 5 hours. And the last 3 days, 4 days, I can't get out of a space station. When I do get out of a space station, I keep running into the same problem. I keep falling through elevators. I do a character reset, it works for a day or two, and then I start falling through elevators again.
Yeah.
I don't want to play an elevator simulation. I want to play Star Citizen. And I don't want to have to keep doing character resets just to try to enjoy the PTU. Once again, I get it. It's the test server, but it just, once again, I think it's very high hopes to think that this patch is going to go live mid to end January. I feel it's going to be more end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
This got me in trouble. This got me in trouble in various different chat rooms, comment sections, forums, saying back in August, there's no way it's going to be done by this time. It'll be March, February. And I've been absolutely blasted for it. And once again, I'm a new player, so I don't really know all the ins and outs as far as what's coming out, what's being worked on. I gave up on following that stuff. I just feel like whatever they say, I add 9 months to a year to it. So if they say something's coming out this day, this month or this year or this quarter, no, it's not. It's coming out the following year.
I don't know when you joined, but like back in 3.15, we were supposed to get the modularity on the M50. So the M50 was supposed to be the first ship that we can swap out the thrusters on. And it just got taken down from the roadmap, and they never talked about it again. And that was like more than a year ago.
I joined about 4 weeks before 17.1 ended.
Oh,
and then we got the big I call it Moneygate. And honestly, it was fun at first, but that killed a lot of gameplay for me. There was no point in grinding for anything else anymore after that. Yeah. There wasn't.
There wasn't, yeah. But like also, if like, what else were you supposed to do for a year? Because like if you joined like in 3.17.2, it wasn't a year, it was like 6 months. So like if you're gonna play the game, you're gonna grind, right? Because there's nothing to do in the game except grinding or being a social butterfly, as Chris said.
Even the missions feel extremely stale.
Yeah,
they feel stale. I mean, I grinded out to ERTs very early on, and I was like, okay,
boring.
Well, now what? Yep. Now what do I do?
Then you go do bunker missions, and you see that every bunker is the same one, and it's all the same, and they're all broken, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh God, 3.17.2, and I think it was 0.3 as well. I can't tell you how many times I went into a bunker and got 5 feet in, and bunker failed.
Yep.
Go try another one, or the elevator wouldn't work once again.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, how do I play then? How do I earn rep if I can't complete a mission? Yep. And that went on for, and you know better than I do, that went on for months.
I didn't play 3.17 almost at all. I started playing 3.17 on my streams like a month ago, and that's it. I saw it. I saw the state of it, and I was like, fuck you, I'm not gonna play this. Like, I reported all the bugs. None of them got fixed, especially the elevator, the double elevator in the bunker missions. So you can't finish the bunker missions because, like, I don't know if you know what's happening. The previous bunker didn't despawn because like they need to despawn once you leave, and then they're gonna like stream back in, and then another one spawns on top of it, and then you have like double elevators. And sometimes you can even like take the elevator, but it's only you, the other guy can't. Like if you're going with a friend, the other guy is stuck on the previous bunker. So it's so fucking dumb and stupid. And I was like, no, like that bug, for example, is in since I started playing like 2.5 years ago. Like if you're not going to fix that, I mean, like what's the point in us playing? I made a video on like why I stopped reporting things on the issue console. I don't know if you saw it, but like that's it.
I watch all your stuff. To be honest with you, when I started with Star Citizen and was trying to find all the information I could possibly find on how to do things, and because I had a friend that did a lot of hand holding with me early on, but After that, it was me trying to find different information and research for everything in the game that I could find, including using some of CIG's resources. And I kept seeing your name come up and another YouTuber, Twitch guy come up. And I, at first, just thought you guys were very angry individuals that spent money into a game and regretted it.
Are you
And
talking
then I
about Salty
actually,
Mike?
yes, sir. And then I listened to what you guys had to say. And at that point, it was when my honeymoon phase was starting to end. And it was like, these guys aren't angry. They're realists.
Yeah.
They're being real. And they're trying to tell you the reality of the situation. And it's, people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And I think it's because a lot of people, they spent money or a lot of money, and they feel that because they put all that money in, everything's great, everything's fine, everything's happy. But it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And also back to this year, I played 3-4 months without even knowing what the hell Squadron 42 was. I didn't back for Squadron 42. I backed for Star Citizen.
I know.
I kept seeing it come up in global chat, and I'm like, what the hell is SQ42? That must be some sort of code for whatever this org or that person is doing, until I actually typed it in Google and was like, oh my dear God, there's a single player game that they're working on. Oh God. And it seems like they hide behind it upon a lot of things. And it's also why I stopped listening to ISCs and various other things that come out from CIG, because it always devolves into the same thing. Server meshing, PES, server meshing. And I just get tired of the same old answer over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You can almost make a drinking game out of it.
Exactly.
I
have a short story just to share with you in the chat. I had a guy comment on like leave a bunch of angry comments on my YouTube channel, and after a while, I just ignored him because like he was white knighting and he was like attacking me for like being realistic. And then after a while, he posted, "Dude, like I watched your first video, I hated the video, I hated you. Watched your second video, hated you, hated the video. Third one, fourth one, I just hated you even more and more. Fifth one, sixth one, I realized that I'm still watching, and on the seventh one, I realized that you're completely right and that I'm in the wrong here, and that like I'm hating you for no fucking reason, because none of this that you said in the previous videos was like untrue. Like everything that you said was true. And I hated you because nobody else was saying that, and I was like, you're gonna break the game, but like no, I'm not there to like destroy CAG. I'm not here to make them lose money or whatever. Like if you check my referral links, I have like made like 36,000 for CAG just like through people buying the game through my referrals. So how am I hating on the game and like being an asshole and trying to destroy CAG? Like that's bullshit.
To steal a quote from somebody else, you know, I love my country, hate my government kind of quote.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way about Star Citizen. I love the game. I really am distrustful. I don't want to say hate, but I'm very distrustful and very leery of anything CIG says.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it anymore. And if it takes a new player 5 to 6 months to figure that out and get to that sort of realization, that's sad. That's sad. And now, as I said, I've gone back and looked at their track record now, and it's really sad. I'm sorry, it's sad. I'm not going to compare it to another AAA game, because what they are attempting to do, and you've said it before, is something that's never been really done before on this scale.
For a reason,
and
though.
Yes, for good reason, and I congratulate them for trying. But at the same time, like I am just plain and simple sick of marketing and the FOMO and collecting millions and millions of dollars, and barely, as you said in the letter from the CEO, barely a thank you for it. Instead, we get, what was the second paragraph started with? The full-throated thing. I feel I got throated with the cactus when I finished Pirate Swarm, and it was like, oh cool, I can get the skin for the Gladius. Oh no, I have to pay $110 for that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're paying 90 for the Gladius and $20 for the skin after you
Yeah,
finish
exactly.
It's so fucking stupid. And like on top of that, I know that we went off topic here, but on top of that, I saw a couple of weeks ago, I saw on Spectrum some posts from people that bought some skins and they never got them. And that happened like fucking 8 years ago. Those skins were called "Shut Up and Take My Money" skins, and like that CG made it for them to like for backers to support them even more. So like you would pay $20 extra, and at some point you're gonna get a skin that's gonna be glorious. They never fucking got the skin, ever.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't CIG sell plots of land?
Yeah, they also sold tickets for CitizenCon.
Mm.
And then
I-
people were like, "No, that's not gonna happen. You're not Blizzard. Like fuck you."
So, how much were these plots of land? I would assume more than $100. I mean,
wasn't
everything on
in.
their website.
Yeah, I wasn't in back then, but probably like 50 to 100, something like that.
I mean,
some people already
once
still have those plots in their hangars.
That's once again that just really bothers me in a way that it shouldn't. That's a very it's a very immoral and unethical thing to do, to sell a bunch of stuff and then it never happens.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the pain that people feel that emptied their wallets for some of these very big capital ships and have nothing after 8 years, 9 years, a decade. Yeah, I don't want to take up more of your time.
No. Before you hop off, please tell me what are your expectations of the next year. So, being a new player, I want to hear it from you. What do you expect that's going to happen in the next year?
My expectation is that we'll start with 318. We are not going to get a live 318 until bare minimum end of February, maybe even end of March. That's my feeling on it. I've played the PTU long enough in the 5-6 hours that I've actually been able to play.
Are you a sub or are you already a concierge?
No. I think I've spent a grand total of $80 to $100 in the game. There's no. I am
also the chat answered it was $450 for 4x4 and $650 for 8x8 for the plots.
That is, I'm sorry, that is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely horrifyingly disgusting.
But please continue.
My expectation back to 318. End of February, end of March. As far as the rest of the year goes, I don't really see a lot of, how do I put it, what the fans want from CIG ship-wise or even vehicle-wise. I think we'll get a few. We'll get them sprinkled in here and there. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of the big ships that people are wanting to see come out. I don't think we're going to get them. I just don't. As far as the longevity of 318, I think we're going to go through the exact same thing we went through 317. We'll get a 0.1, a 0.2, a 3, a 4, and who knows, maybe even a 0.5. And maybe 1 or 2 of those will be major updates to said 3.118 patch. Prove me wrong, CIG, please. Prove me wrong. I hope you do, but prove me wrong. And until then, that's my stance. As far as getting server meshing, would they say 2024?
No, they said end of 2023.
Yeah, and no. Once again, I don't. I add, like I said, 9 months to a year, maybe even 18 months onto that. I don't foresee that happening. I foresee them having a lot more issues with PES than they think they're going to have. And they're going to have to really knuckle down at those desks to get it working the way they want it to and the way the fans expect it to work. So server meshing, I think if we get it in 2024, it's going to be the same thing. It'll come out a week or two before Christmas and it'll sit for the next 3-4 months before it goes live.
Probably.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And that's if they get it out by then. I hope CIG proves me wrong. I hope I hope they do, because I love this game and I don't want to see it continually be dragged out. And before one last thing before I go,
Mm-hmm.
I think that this year is a very big make or break year. Not so much for the old school backers, but for the casuals that just got in and the casuals on the outside looking in. If
Yep.
this year does not do as well as they think it's going to, I think this game is going to not end or anything like that, but it's going to take a huge hit. And I don't want to see that. But I also think, too, the end is coming very soon for hiding behind Squadron 42. You either need to get that thing out or you need to shut up about it. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I did not back for Squadron 42. I didn't
Yeah.
at all. It was for the PU. So stop hiding. Once again, chat, you, anybody else that wants to correct me, I just feel that it is a giant digital shield that they're hiding behind right now.
Oh yeah. I completely agree. Like, I have nothing to add. I know that a bunch of people that I know of that are older backers or newer backers, they have no interest in Squadron 42. I made a poll 6 months ago on my YouTube channel, and you can say that like it's an echo chamber, but also some other people did the same poll, and most people voted that they don't really care about Squadron 42 at all. They just want to see Star Citizen getting up into a better state. Like, some people were like, yeah, well, I'm gonna play it, but I don't care about it, etc. But like, most people are like, we're paying for Star Citizen and not for Squadron 42. I don't even have a Squadron 42 package in my hangar. I don't
Neither
care.
do I. I have two quick questions for you, real quick.
Go ahead.
Have the actors for Squadron 42 been paid? Because I've looked and
They've
looked.
been paid, I'm pretty sure, because there will be a lawsuit if they weren't. They finished their mocap and voice acting back in 2015 or 16. I'm not sure. I think it was 15. But yeah, that was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, and then I know the answer. I know we keep hearing the answer. Squadron 42 is 2 years away, and I don't know when that 2 years started. But I do hear it's 2 years
Back in
away.
2014, by the way.
Okay, so it's been 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 years away for 8 years.
Yep.
If I hear a lot in forums and comment sections from various YouTubes that the entirety of Star Citizen hangs on Squadron 42. If that was true, at these big Citizen Con events, why isn't Chris Roberts, the big movie producer that he was or used to be, why isn't Mark Hamill getting brought out every once in a while, or even doing like a 2-3 minute thing via webcam?
Because he would have to be paid for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure all the sales from the Galaxy could help with that.
Yeah. But I mean, probably because it's Citizen Con, not Squadron Con.
All right, you got me there, Grumpy. You got me there. You got me there.
I'm kidding. I don't know, dude. Like, you can see on their YouTube channel that the actors are in the mocap studio, and the videos are from like 2014-15, and you can see like Dana Scully, or what's her name, Gillian Anderson, and you can see Mark Hamill talking about the game, and Chris, and their relationship and all that. I also think I saw the Gary Oldman video online, so you can they actually were there and they actually did their jobs. But also, I have no idea, like, because CEG wants to do 3 sequels of Squadron 42.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that. And what
it
scares me is,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Jake just said it in the chat. Mark Hamill and Gary Oldman might pass away before this game even comes out, and that's the issue. How are they gonna act in the sequels if they're not here?
I hope it doesn't happen, but I feel
Yeah,
once again,
course.
okay, Squadron 42 comes out. All right, let's play pretend here. Squadron 42 comes out. Star Citizen is still in its alpha state, not even moving to beta at this point. Are they going to hide behind episode 2? Are they going to hide behind episode 3?
Probably.
Because it's as I said, I'm getting really tired of the same responses, and it's the same 3 every single time, and I can almost count it off before it's said. PES server meshing Squadron 42. Every single time I actually watch something that they come out with, and it's bothered me to the point where I just don't even watch anymore. I'm not subscribed to their YouTube channel. I don't watch the ISCs anymore. I wait for you to do that, because I'm going to get an actual realistic comment about it instead of a bunch of high hopes and here's your copium pipe, shut up and smoke it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to take up any more of your time, sir. Once again, thank you for doing what you do. I really appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else out there does. And have a happy new year and a great 2023.
You too, buddy. Thank you for hopping in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think you'll need to leave yourself because I can disconnect you. There you go. All right. So the next guy that we have, or girl, I'm not sure, is going to be Kinjiro. Kinjiro, you here? Can we hear each other?
I'm not sure if I need to turn off the volume to your stream in order so it doesn't come in the background.
Yeah, you probably should, because you're going to hear me through Discord.
Okay, so
is lagging.
I've got the stream muted.
All right.
So my audio is still going to come through though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
But just give me. I think you had a cam, and it just went off once I.
You got it. I just don't want you to be the only one on without a camera on.
All right. Give me a second. I gotta find you. Oh, there you go.
Work your magic.
And I just gotta change your name here. Just a second.
You're good.
So how do I pronounce your name? Kinjiro?
Kenjiro is fine, yeah.
All right. Hello.
Hey guys.
Is it your real name? Or is it
no, that's a gamer name. That's
okay.
A carryover from Final Fantasy 11 and 14.
Nice.
Hey guys. Props to Grifter. He actually I met him through a couple other channels.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them was Jack Axton. Credit to Jack Axton because he was big on trading. And I guess the guest still is. But again, as to reinforce what Grifter said, a big credit to you for how your approach to your content and your commentary, because
thank you.
I feel bad for people who in general are white knights. And Grifter kind of touched on this in that it's like they want to defend the game no matter what.
Yeah.
Or don't want to speak badly about it. But I also hate, and I feel bad for, I shouldn't say hate. I understand old backers that are salty, understandably salty, but it's like when I see them post and they say, well, and then someone will reply back going, boy, you're so angry and upset. He's like, I was an old backer. I'm like, okay, well, and God bless you, and I appreciate where you're probably coming from, but why are you bandwagoning with everybody else, calling the rest of us as in some sort of a cult? And no one's putting a gun to my head. I'm absolutely capable and owning the I think it's I'm up. I don't mind throwing myself under the bus. I'm at about $700 for what because IAE, I got my 600 high Grump. But thanks to not your channel, but a couple other channels, and I'm forgetting the names of whether it's Level Cap Gaming and other people that said, hey, there's this CCU thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got my 600i for a little more than an Eclipse, which I was not expecting, and I'm good with that. similar to Grifter, aka Scarred Citizen. I see him in the chat. Great guy. He actually tried to help me out over this Christmas holiday when I happened to be logged in, and then of course family arrives. It's like fuck. But he was. This is the one thing I love about this community. Whether it's Vici Dams, I'm part of his org. Also, he has a small org. Very helpful. He unlocked Pirate Swarm for me. Very helpful community. But then there are also guys where like take out my C8R and I'm ready to do a bunker, and then I come back out and it's already blown up because the player's bored. Fine, okay, but I'm not. I have other time constraints because I decided to go back to school. That's neither here nor there. But unlike to Grifter's credit and other people, but you know, maybe it's because I'm getting old, grumpy. But I like my reaction speed, whatever. I don't know if I'll ever go to Styx. Jonathan Winters' channel. I'm going to be shouting out a bunch of channels because Jonathan Winters did a kick-ass job. Does a kick-ass job. He has way too few subs on tactics.
Well,
and
honestly,
actual,
he just started basically, so he is doing really, really good.
He's
popping.
Similar to you. Almost not necessarily as chill. I don't know if we should develop Star Citizen aromatherapy and include Space Tomato's voice, because he's got kind of just a buttery, casual voice that it's smooth. Winters has a way, the way he condenses material, and on his videos of how to do of combat training, he's an ace. He rocks in that he puts the information together. He has a video where you can pause it and go, okay, I don't understand what the fuck you just said. I can watch it again and again until I get it, which I'm still working.
By the way, you gotta get Styx. Like it's a more tactile feel, and it doesn't matter how old you are. If you get Styx, you're gonna realize why I'm saying that. Just get the VKBs, honestly.
Whether it was Avenger 1 or I know it was on one of several of Jonathan's live streams where he's mentioned some of the top players still use mouse and keyboard.
Well, so there's that, but also, like, if you don't want to be a top player, like, it doesn't, like, I gave up on being the best PvPer a long time ago. I wanted to be one, and then I was like, no, I just don't want to, like, stress myself out and put myself into having to play this game over and over again, even though I don't like the state of it, and get fucking frustrated just to like kill people and get my skills up. So at one point, maybe that's gonna come back to me, but probably not. But whatever you do with your sticks, just landing with your sticks, flying around with your sticks is more immersive and more tactile than having just like a WASD spacebar shift control.
So don't try to sell me on DCS when you're trying to sell me on DCS, Grumpy. I'm just kidding.
No, I am also a DCS player, but that's like another setup with like a
I'm just teasing you.
Yeah.
For example, similar but different. Both Grifter and I are relatively new players. I came in on the July free fly, and kind of like night and day. I never followed it as deeply as he did. News-wise, ISC and everything, but I loved elements of this game, and it made me say to myself all those years ago when I said to myself, I don't want to be in a flight simulator, but I will depart from the current train of thought I'm on, because I wanted to say I may be in the minority, but I'm one of the people that absolutely was up for Squadron. I made sure I added it to cart when I got started. Because I came from Chris's background, where you'll find players like Grifter and other people who go, I just liked a cool freaking space sim. I don't know who Chris Roberts is.
Yeah.
I actually reinstalled outdated old Freelancer, the game Freelancer, and played through it again. Like
my friend is still playing it, by the way. Yeah.
And there are mods for it too. Less than 6 months ago, until I found Star Citizen. Yeah. And I foolishly thought, oh, then my fighter combat's going to be as good as it was. And no. And then the learning curve, where I don't know if it's a thing that humans in general love being challenged. And I'm like, and as soon as I like cleared my first bunker or I got certain other things down, then I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can fucking do this. And then the rest of the learning curve hit me in the ass. And I barely go outside of Area 18, Hurston. And I think I've been to Dream City around Cruel 1 a couple times. And then this IAE was my first time going to Microtech. And so there's so much more of what old backers, people like yourself who have, and I finally got to that point, Grumpy, with finishing this other bunker, going, huh. So this is what Grumpy's talking about. Is it's just rinse and repeat, and you're like, okay, I'm getting to kind of done.
Yeah.
And then, as Grifter even said, okay, maybe three bunkers in a row. Things are going clean. You're getting your gear, and you're reloading ammo and med pens, and then all of a sudden you get to the next one, and the fucking elevator doesn't work, and you're like, really? An interesting thing that Vici Dam showed me with
also one more thing that you don't probably know about. For ages, some of the bunkers on Hurston were under the water, and you will go there, you will have like the water effect, and you would drown if you didn't have a helmet. And that was in for like 3 patches or something like that, and that was reported, but like nobody fixed it.
You're reminding me with irrational gamer, scared gamer, I would be cautious backing up on the little elevator pad, and somehow I would find myself through the wall, and then I'd be falling in the bunker, and then I would die. And that used to just like piss me off. Like, what do you mean there's no wall there? Or how am I able to fall? What is going on?
Yeah.
But I do want to get back to your and Grifter's point of, as a new player, things that I loved about it, whether it was inventory, as basic as it was, and how Hawks Gaming, shout out to his channel, where he got me motivated to even start bunkers. And then he goes, okay, inventory, you're going to go one item at a time.
Jesus
Have
Christ,
fun with
yeah.
that. And yet things where when I think I was in Space Tomatoes chat or some other channel, and they're like, you guys don't even know the inventory's new. And I'm like, what? But for how many years?
New, like in terms of Star Citizen, yeah, it's new, but it's like a year and like 4 to 5 months old.
In the bigger scheme of where
Yeah.
The right and wrong people still remind us we've hit a decade of when this project started. Where I want to point
even more, because they started working on Star Citizen and Squadron 42 before the Kickstarter, a year prior to that. So yeah.
And a variation on Grifter's point, where you guys are, for your perspective, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, salty about Squadron. What kind of ground my gears, where I'm like, okay, I'm up for Squadron. I want to unlock an FA-18, FA-8, a Lightning. But you guys made me realize, and I'm paying for it because I added it to my cart first. So you made money off of me wanting that ship on unlock. In addition, Chris saying, and of course we want to be able to have a Squadron 42 number 2 and then number 3, and it's like, dude, just where okay, we know you want to print money, but and yet, not only with the way that you temper your perspectives, and that I loved, I think it was the first video that you did, I forget if it was right when 318 dropped, and you're like, this is good, this looks good, this,
yeah,
and that enough of your own community as well as people on the internet should understand you're not changing. And I'm grateful I hopped on to speak with you and support you, and that right from day one, where whether it was Salty Mike and everybody's just up to here with it, but how they either intentionally or unintentionally misunderstood you when you're like, so why is he still making videos if he doesn't it's like, no,
yeah.
no, he's frustrated with it's something that's not working, so why am I going to play something that's not playable? And that now that they have an updated patch, okay, let's give them a fair shake. And I'm forgetting anywhere from 2 to 3 things that we didn't know that were coming. CIG, if we could go in a time machine and you could say, and we're going to have a starter idea of crafting, you being able to make things in the Vulture and the Reclaimer, like totally blindsided all of us. It's like, what?
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
but did you also hear that they're like, well, this is a temporary thing? I'm like, you're what CIG again? You're giving and then you're gonna take away.
so
What?
first of all that, but also like the fact that we don't really have crafting in the game, and it
Yeah.
took them this long, and then like they realized, oh shit, we forgot to give them the tractor beams. Okay, let's give them like crafting, and then we as a player base being happy to get crafting tier -1 because it that's what it is.
Yes.
Like you just click on a thing and from one SU box you get a multi-tool and a tractor beam. It's so stupid. And then we're super happy and stoked about getting crafting even though it's not real crafting. And then they're like, oh yeah, but we're gonna take it away. It's just temporary. Well, fuck you then. I mean, what are you
It's
doing?
like- it's I don't want you can't take it back until they do take it back or take it
Yeah.
away of why did you even implement that?
Yeah.
Who got a gold star or a bit of a raise or whatever where they're like, yeah, we're gonna put this in, and then when you revise the vulture and the reclaimer, oh, let's make sure we take that off, that console or that part of the ship isn't going to work anymore. What?
I mean, I still don't understand why don't they have what are they called? Belts? Not belts. Conveyor belts. Yeah,
Regular
that's-
assembly line.
yeah. It's so stupid. But yeah, sure. Give us tractor beams and then take them away because you're gonna give us something else, I guess, at some point.
I don't know who it is that's making them think, well, isn't that part of multiplayer gameplay? Or
Well,
someone's
no,
not going
it's
to want to be
not.
hired and get paid if they don't have something that they can actually do on your ship. And it's like you're missing. I
But-
agree with you that it feels like you're missing the point.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it funny though that like they think that having two guys in the back of the reclaimer or a guy that's just sitting there falling over whenever you're trying to to go like to accelerate, and he's trying to place those boxes on the lower deck. Like, isn't it funny that they think that that's multi-crew gameplay? Like, if that's multi-crew gameplay for them, I don't know what the engineering is going to be. Like, it's going to be even more tedious than that.
And I don't mean to upset. All of our ships are near and dear to our heart, but I think it was either Level Cap Gaming, Subliminal, and a couple other guys who they were like, do yourself a favor, just spend the $115 and get yourself a Cuddy Black because you're going to end up upgrading to that after anyway. In my own partly rebellious nature, where I'm like, okay, just because you told me that, I'm not going to and other gamers for however long ago, maybe it was a year or two for some of those vids, and Subliminal even said, if you don't have someone in the turret and you're Cuddy Black, you're doing it wrong. And I typically solo, so I'm like, I'm never gonna have somebody for that turret. So
why would you? Like the pay is not that good if you're splitting it two ways.
But not only that, but Subliminal's point where I'm taking him partly out of context is you're not, if part of the goal to make the most of the available guns and firepower on your Cuddy is if you don't have somebody in that turret, then you're doing it wrong. Was his hot take on that specific perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right, so let's take it back to the expectations versus reality topic, because we went far away from the topic.
All over the place.
Yeah. So what are your expectations for for this year, and what do you think that the reality behind it is going to be?
I'm completely indecisive in that I sold myself on the Vulture, picked it up, and then at IAE, and I don't know if it was by accident or subconsciously intentional, I forgot to close the loop on buying a Banu Defender, so I still have a Vulture, so I get to try it out now. But that also, do you think that they're going to bump the price up for the Vulture to 150, 155?
Well, it
When
is
it's
already 150.
Oh, damn! I didn't
Yeah.
see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. More to the point that so it will be 150 when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
Long
They also
story-
tend to change the prices of the ships that we already have in the game. So, for example, last year or year prior to that, the Caterpillar went up from 285 to 320, something like that, 315. for no
Right.
reason.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So expectations were that my own indecisive ass was thinking I'd try to learn fighter combat. That's kind of faded, but I want it mostly to to protect my ass. I'm not trying for PvP, but I understand. A video of Avenger Ones really got me almost furious when he used that word Care Bear, and I'm like, because I come from old school World of Warcraft where there was a guy who was corpse camping me. I
Oh,
log off, come back on half an hour later, and he's still sitting there leering over my fucking dead body. And I'm like, fuck, I'm paying a subscription to play this game, and you're keeping me from playing this game. And at the time, it was this whole get good. I can't get good if I can't
yeah.
res. But but I've gotten over the fact how we're so in alpha, but that people should have other things than PvP. But I recognize that in the unrestricted zones, PvP is part of the universe as intended. CIG game playing as intended. Where I need to learn how to defend myself. But expectations were that when I saw Jack Axton and a couple other people where not so much zen or how relaxing and what a good game loop salvage seems like it's going to be. I could hear your voice in my head going, and after they get enough data back from people learning the salvage loop and profiting from it, then they'll start nerfing how we get compensated for it. But that may or may not happen.
They probably
Um,
won't because this is just the first iteration of it, and we're gonna get like
Tier 0.
yeah, and we're gonna get like hull munching and all of that. So at some
Right,
point
right,
it's gonna be more profitable, but right now it's like even now compared to mining, because once you find a rock that is mineable, that has like I don't know 40% quantanium, that has a mass of 8 tons, for example. If you know what you're doing, it's gonna take you maybe 10 minutes to finish the whole game loop to break the rock, scoop the things, go to the refinery, refine it, and then tomorrow you can get your money or get your quantanium so you can sell it. But with the vulture, especially the vulture, with the reclaimer, they buffed the reclaimer a bit, but it's still not enough. You're gonna take an hour, 2 hours scraping. Like it's so boring and dull and tactile, and it's just like whatever. You gotta get out of the seat. You gotta like push the crate because there's like, is there any skill involved? No. But like, yeah, it needs to be more complex. So we're gonna make him get out of the seat and like tractor beam the crates around, and that's it. And then after an hour, you're gonna earn, maybe if you're lucky, you're gonna earn like 105,000 alpha USC. Whereas for the prospector, you're gonna earn almost 300,000 alpha UAC for like 10 minutes off. Like once you find the rock, it's gonna take you 10 minutes. It is a procedure to find the rocks, but if you have a team of or a squad of people that are just gonna split and find rocks for you, it's gonna take less time, because sometimes if you're mining on your own, I don't know if you ever mined, but if you're
I
mining
never
on your
planned
own, yeah, it can take up to an hour to just find a good rock. But even with that, if you have a bunch of people, a bunch of prospectors, you split, you search for the clues, and you find rocks that are good, and then you scoop them all up and refine them, and you're gonna get a lot of money. But for salvage, you don't really get enough money for like the time that you invested into salvaging.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I love how Scarred Citizen, aka Grifter, posted in chat. We need an actual damn economy.
Yeah.
On, I believe it was a live stream that Space Tomato was doing with Jack Axton, where he's like, trading is not, it's not in a good state or in good shape.
Yeah.
And when, I don't know how many years or how long Jack Axton's been griping at CIG, going, can you fix the economy, please?
And you know
and
what the funniest thing is? It's just like opening a spreadsheet and changing the numbers inside of it, and that's it. It's that easy. But they don't want to do it because they want to do quanta, they want to do other shit, and then like I guess that they don't want to rebalance it just to have to rebalance it again. But Jesus Christ, like it's been
that's
6 years.
I don't want to say it's something the white knights use, but it's a poor cop out for any type of programming of, oh well, we're gonna revamp this, right? So
Yeah.
why are we gonna bother to iterate that and then end up having to revise?
All right,
But
so
you
let
said
me
it
take
yourself.
you.
Oh yeah,
Let
you got it. Yeah, go for it.
me just take you back to the topic of the stream because
My bad.
yeah. So what are your expectations for 2023, and what do you think is actually going to happen? So first expectation, server meshing, yes or no?
No.
No.
Oh no.
Okay, so you're a new
I-
player, and you're
Correct.
already saying no.
Mostly because and this is something where I want to take, and I'm not going to take too long, I hope. Something that you're learning very quickly, Grumpy, is if I ever try to say I'm going to be brief, I'm never brief. But what I'm going to try to say is
It's fine.
all the whether they're other channels or other commenters who are like that CIG says or I'm sorry, the newer game players or everybody that wants to prove that Star Citizen is a scam,
Okay.
and they'll be like, well, nothing's showing me how to do anything. And then Hawks Gaming, Space Tomato, Leadnap Gaming, the easiest and simplest of searches on YouTube have, this is how you get started. Oh well,
Yeah.
I should be able to. Okay, fine. The game's craptastic at being very poor interface for leading you around. Am I not? Am I the first person that ever started a new game going, I'm going to research this thing and find out how I maneuver and get around, rather than expecting the game to hold my hand through everything. At any rate, and I agree, CIG or the Star Citizen has a huge learning curve because there's still a ton of things I still need to learn. But again, getting back to the point of what you're saying, I don't faithfully watch certain things with CIG, and to Grifter's credit again, I lost faith in certain things that they would say, whether it was your channel or other people that would say. And the only consistent thing about CIG is the deadlines that
Inconsistency.
they've missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only consistent thing is their inconsistency.
Yep.
So I don't even pay attention to that. And it's not so much that I love welcome surprises that certain things actually do pan out, but that, again, similar to Grifter, yourself, and a lot of other people, I want this project to succeed. I love aspects of it, and to the point where when I get string 3 bunkers in a row, or recently VT Dam had a video and live stream that showed me how to clear the urgent boarding action thing. Then you just switch servers. I don't even need to bother looting or tractoring in bodies. I switch servers, the mission's up again. It's 45K. That's not bad. And in that, so that
But
when
it
works,
is the same mission over and over again, though. So
touche. And that's where again I'm starting to get bored with that. And I'm grateful for your insight that I might have my Zen meditative stance while I'm salvaging, but my compensation may not be nearly as much as I would like. And am I going to be satisfied with that? So as you're saying, what I'm shooting myself in the foot, in that my expectations aren't very different from what I think is actually going to pan out, because I have my tempered enthusiasm from great channels like yours. I still used to, Salty Mike used to make me salty. And yet it's an understanding of, no, you don't have, thank God we have, freedom of speech, yada, yada, blah, 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 where you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
But, and I don't have to agree with it, almost so much so that the overly antagonistic old backers, to the point where they're calling the rest of us being in a cult. Hi, my name is Ken. I'm a reformed gotcha gamer. What I've thrown at CIG is a fraction of what I've thrown at online gotcha games. It's ridiculous, but I'm taking ownership of what I spent. I left those gotcha games, and I've left other games because they didn't meet my expectations. does that mean I should file a lawsuit against? No, I'm owning that what I spent on was reckless, whatever, or that it just, end of the day, it didn't meet my expectations. I still have high hopes for Squadron 42. I still have high hopes for Star Citizen, but I agree with you, Grifter, and everybody else that and if Chris already says end of next year, then you're looking at 18 months or longer, because it's just, and I don't know if they're doing a bad version of, not quite the Texas two-step, but they're like, we want to put it out there so that we're acknowledging to the fan base and to the backers that this is something we acknowledge, we want to put a rough number on, but that when content creators like you, like, they don't mind that content creators like you are going to show a clip saying, hey, back in 2022 you said this was your goal and you missed it by 18 months, you know. So
Or
yeah,
missing the deadline of server meshing by 6 years. And
but this is
it
what frustrates me
continues.
the most. Whether it's how Pez hopefully will come through with the come through in the next 3 to 9 months. And I agree with I think it was a video I watched earlier today from Leadnap Gaming. I think it was actually posted longer, half a day before that. But where this is big, nobody has been ambitious enough to take on what they plan to have.
Yeah,
So, and
I
if
agree with that.
if this can be something that okay, now that you've locked this down, then everything. But one last comment I really want to address of what that you said so well that really
I just gotta step in for a second. Star Streams, hello. If you're willing, you can hop into the chat and you can talk about your expectations and your realities of what's going to happen in the next in this year. But I wanted to just step in for a second. So iCache and Pcache prior to PES were supposed to do the same thing, and they happened. Pcache was, I'm gonna lie to you, but probably 2018. Then we had iCache 2019 or 2020, something like that, and then we're getting PES that actually does what PES is supposed to do. So I tip my hat to them doing what they wanted to do since the get-go, but also what happened with the Pcache and iCache. Why were you working on it? And why did we have it? Why didn't you ditch it and start working on PES immediately? Or because like PES, from what I know, Turbulent was working on PES, not CAG. So I don't know if they actually bought Turbulent. Now I heard some rumors, but if you can't do it in-house, just outsource and get like capable developers then that can do that for you. But no, they wanted to do it. They tried it twice and they didn't do it. And then they hired, like they outsourced and they got PES working. And it, like, I tip my hat because it is working and it is amazing. And honestly, I'm still trying to think of a game where I saw that working, but I never saw it working like a mechanic like that, a feature like that working in a game before. And that's fucking amazing. But also, as I've said, like if you're working on an MMO, and I said this a bunch of times, if you're working on an MMO, if you're working on a game that's supposed to like support thousands and thousands of players, why didn't you start with the main feature of an MMO, and that's going to be server meshing and then like PES, etc., etc. That's an issue. Like I see that as an issue. And then as we saw in the letter from the chairman a couple of hours ago when I started streaming, he's still talking about server meshing, but in between server meshing and now we have PES that needs to be hardened, and then we have the replication layer that needs to be separated, and we don't know about the steps and how long that's going to take. Yet he tells us that by the end of 2023 we should get server meshing. Like,
right now it's for some of the people in the Star Citizen community who do understand game development, one of the few I caught your stream late, and one of the last things I heard you talk about before I jumped on was so Chris, fearless leader, Herr Roberts, you reference replication layer, and then you basically use the right jargon to dance around how we're talking about replication layer, but we're not really going to be working on it yet.
Yeah. They haven't even started working on it because we didn't have PS.
And-
It's
I-
like dumb. But okay, any other expectations? I gotta go to the next caller.
Right. Last quick thing that I want to touch on of a brilliant insight from yours is like, okay, you keep saying, and this dovetails on Grifter's point as well. You keep using Squadron 42 as a meat shield. You're
Yeah.
hiding behind it, saying you need to develop things for Squadron 42 because then it's going to be further developed and built out into. And God bless you, God love you, Grumpy. You're like, what the? One's a standalone game and one's an MMO. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
So
compute.
again,
yeah.
I'm gonna end on the fact that in house they say, as you brought up with the replication later before I came in. So you're dancing around saying you're doing this for a certain reason when anybody else would know that those two don't relate. So how it just in the end it just doesn't make sense. Again, thanks so much for your time, Grumpy.
Thank you.
Grateful to everybody in the chat. Keep supporting this guy.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to your next stream and your next update. Keep the faith and take care, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Bye. All right, so that was Kinjiro. What a lovable persona. I love him. And in the end, we have Newty Alex that was waiting for a half an hour. Also, I don't know if Starstreams saw it, but Starstreams, hop in if you want to talk. What's up,
Hello.
Alex? Hello.
Hello, what's up?
Hello. Give me a second. I just gotta change a couple of things in the stream for your. You don't have a cam, right?
No,
Okay. All right. Give me a second.
I'm a noob.
You're a noob. Yeah.
Happy New Year, first off.
You too. You too.
And
So
chat and-
how do I call? Is it Newty? Or
You
is
can
it
say Alex, no problem.
Alex. Okay.
It's Newty, yeah. But it's as a kid when I played, I always make like an airplane near, and that's why this name. And that was a short story about
Mhm.
it. That's it. Yeah. Happy New Year, first of all.
You too.
And I love your content. You're an honest guy. Because
Thank
I
you.
see always these videos and they say, oh, this game will be like this, and they don't know shit about. Because they read something and they think, oh, it will be the best game of your life. I play since 2017 January, and it's always the same. They say, oh, it will be like this, like that, and after 6 years or 5 years or something. First off, I was in love in this ship Redeemer. Okay, and I pledged for it. I loved it for the concept and everything.
When did you start playing, by the way?
2017
Okay.
January. And I waited like, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 years, and I thought like I was writing a ticket. What's happening? Where's my ship? Because I was new, I didn't know. Now I know everybody should not buy concept ships. That's my opinion. Best.
Yep.
Nah.
But also, did you know that your Redeemer was supposed to be modular?
Yeah, it's very modular. You have a kitchenette that's working, and it's very cool.
Yeah, but no. With all seriousness, if you
Yeah.
check the funding stats and you scroll down and you see like the goals, the last goal is for the ship modularity, blah blah blah, and then you have the Redeemer that's supposed to have like stasis chambers, and you can carry cargo, etc., etc. So like it was supposed to be like fully modular.
Oh, super nice. Like the
Yep.
Caterpillar. It's very modular
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Well, expectations and reality. I expect nothing. I want to be that the good game is good, but
Mhm.
as I play like 5 years, I see. Okay, at the beginning, I must be honest, it was very shitty. Okay, you couldn't even leave the station without dying like 10 times.
Yeah.
But it was a dream for me, a space game like Star Wars, like ish. you know. Okay, it's a dream from everyone who plays Star Citizen, I think. I just hope that they can do this server meshing, but I think this will be like maybe in some years, not soon at all.
So you don't see it in 2023 at all?
No, never.
Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 years later, or maybe like 25 or something.
But how do you think that that's gonna work? Like, are they gonna release 319 and then like 319 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 up to 10, or maybe they're gonna do 320, or what do you think they're gonna do?
I think they delay everything like minimum a half year. Like patches. Okay, we don't need to talk about salvaging or something. Everyone knows this is totally not like it should be. From time-ish. Now I think they will make like small patches maybe. I hope they make a lot of bug fixing, but yeah, that's a hope, no?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
when
is
I
just
see it from
wishful
the
thinking.
perspective, like when I see it like this, when I began, it was very bad, very bad, and there was a fly model. I don't know which because I played 5 years. Maybe it's 2 years ago or something. It was very nice, crisp. You could nice fly, and everything was good. And they changed it to bullshit because I had very fun low flying on high speeds. Now for me it's broken. This was fun, and the space fighting was more fun. Now it's like it's clunky. It's when I fly in a Gladius or something fast, you don't have even brakes. It feels like it's so slow everything, you know. And I don't know. This should be a spaceship. I like fast combat. I'm from Call of Duty and stuff. And okay, they want to have a simulation, but when you play a game, you want to have fun. And when you have too much simulation, it can break the fun. So I hope that they will make the fly model a lot better. That the space break.
Do you think that that's gonna happen in this year though? Do you think
No.
that the flight modes? Yeah, me neither.
Maybe a little bit polished, but I don't think that the fly model will be someday perfect for me. But because I love this fast-paced stuff and yeah, even in the Gladius you don't have this feeling anymore. It was different when I played and did a lot of PvP. Now it's not fun for me to PvP because it's okay. The one guy flies on high speed, you fly on high speed.
Yeah.
You chase like crazy, and it's when you do this 10 times, it's boring.
Yeah.
Honestly, because and like salvaging, I'm on the PTU. I tested it 20 minutes, and it's boring for me.
Yeah.
It's just
I got bored in the first like 2 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, really, because I sit there, I push the button. Okay, the animations are nice. Okay,
Yeah.
next model, next box. And
Yeah.
I thought
Honestly,
like
it is a bit better now because of the they buffed the lasers or whatever beams. So the Reclaimer has like 4 times bigger laser than the Vulture, and the Vulture's laser got a bit bigger. So you cover like more area, although the Vulture is still like, I don't know. It takes you a long time to scrape the whole, let's say, a hammerhead, and you don't get that much material.
the amount
That's my
of
main
money
issue.
is not good.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And it's not my type of gameplay because for me it's boring. I go to
Yeah.
work, I come from work, and I don't want to work. I want to play.
Yeah,
all
it's
about-
it's like playing Cookie Crusher.
Yeah. It's okay. It looks nice. The graphics are always nice. Okay, graphics.
Yeah.
We don't know what
Screenshots.
will happen if some new game comes with Unreal 5 maybe engine and very good, like Star Citizen. Then we don't know what happened. Okay, I pledged too much. I will always stay on Star Citizen. But okay, this was my first big mistake. I pledged too much.
It
But-
happens. What you
But
gonna do about it?
I see it like this. I spent a lot. I had a lot of fun too with friends. It's okay for me.
Thank you very
But
much,
I
Ross, for
expect some
the 20 bucks.
improvements. I
See
expect
ya, by the way.
a life in the verse, like NPCs flying around, a lot of, and some stuff happening. You see pirates maybe there, or there's some trader, and alive. Maybe animals on planets. They said this years ago. I don't know, 4 years or more. I don't know. And okay. When I see life in the verse, then I'm happy. But now you just see some ships. You fly around. You do the same missions 20 times. That's boring. And I expect some nice missions. Maybe they take like 3 hours. You take a crew. You have 3 hours mission. But when you get a bug in like 10 minutes, then the 3 hour mission is not good too. So they need
Honestly, I would love to see like more missions that you can do without even leaving, let's say, Lorville or the planet of Hurston. Just go to a planet, and then you have a bunch of missions that you can earn money on without even having to hop into your ship.
Yeah, maybe something with a vehicle or something. I don't know. You don't have content for vehicles. I just see streamers, they stand around with their vehicles. Okay, we drive now there. Nothing
Yeah,
happens.
all the ships
Okay,
are like
we
oversized
drive to our
Gladiuses.
ship. We drive to our ship and we fly away. Bye bye. That's all you see from vehicles.
Yeah.
And I was very happy when I saw, and this was because I love Battlefield. Well, loved. I played a long time ago, and I saw Theater of Wars. I thought, okay, oh cool, okay, they can balance some guns, some ships, some this and that. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's somewhere deep down under, I don't know, 20 centimeters of dust on some floppy disk maybe. I don't know. It's very sad. Because how they want to balance something if they don't have any good fight mods? I see this arena commander, okay, you just see arrows flying around, that's it. I don't know. I just hope that they will make something big this year. I hope.
Yeah. So what are your expectations for this year? Like, what do you expect to see? Because you said that you're not expecting to see server meshing. What else do you expect to see, and do you think that that's realistic?
The main issue are for me bugs. If they fix bugs, because you need a fluid gameplay and you need some loops, some bigger loops and more content. And I would love to see an NPC crew like auto turrets, because you don't see the big ships never. I don't fly alone with a hammerhead, for example. I have 3 friends, they play, and it's not very senseful to play with 3 or 4 guys on a hammerhead. It's okay-ish, but
why would you? Like, if you're PvPing, one well-placed torpedo can take you out, and that's it.
Yeah, but it is like this. You cannot even use it. You buy it. It's an expensive ship, and you can't really use it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
For me, it's very critical. If someone have it now, a Polaris or something. I have a Polaris. That's
of course you do.
And, no, not
as
this.
Always do, but yeah.
It's like a nice picture on my wall, and I wait. That's all. What can I say about this?
So what do you think?
I love the idea. Hanger is.
How many patches do you think that we're gonna get in this year if you don't see 4.0 dropping this year?
They will make 3.19, of course. They must, because I hope maybe 4. I hope, but this is. If you see what happened this year, it's like one big patch and it's it. I think the other small things, I even don't recognize it. Because when you play this game 5 years, it was, but I must say it was very bad from 5 years ago. It's a lot better now. But you don't have really content. It's okay when you play with a lot of peoples maybe, but you need something like this jump town thing is not bad, but you need more like this, and you need more action. If you don't have action in the game, why?
But also, that's only for us, the PvPers. But what are
Yeah.
the rest of the people going to do? Because most people don't really want to PvP. Like,
Yeah,
whenever I went to Jumptown, I had an issue with people calling me a griefer. Like, look, I'm not a griefer. It's a PvP event. I went there, I killed you so I can take your loot, and that's it.
Yes.
But, like, we need more events or more things for people. Even for me, I don't want to PvP anymore, honestly. Not with the game at this state. I want to just chill and do something else. I need more game loops. I need more variety in the game.
Yeah, the good thing I think is this persistence. Maybe when the ships get down and they stay on the ground and stuff, it looks nice. It's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe you need more missions like, oh, there's a trader. He was shot or something. Just go there, collect the boxes, get some money of it, and that's it. Without big trouble. Something like this. Some small missions that make fun, maybe for a trader or I don't know. Because I can't mine, I can't go to salvaging. I'm
It's too
honestly
tedious for you.
I
get you.
love NPC battles. I love it because PvP is not so good. It's very laggy and stuff. I have a very good computer. That's not the problem. It's the servers. It's always no. It's sometimes the ship they flying around. You shoot, you don't hit because it's the servers.
Okay, so instead of asking you what are your expectations and what do you think the reality is, what are you most excited about in the future of Star Citizen? Is it the flight modes? Is it the Polaris?
Well, it's something very, very wide away.
Okay.
The life in the verse, more NPCs.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Seeing that something is happening. There is some trader. There's just life.
Yeah.
From NPCs, I don't care.
Yeah.
But before they do the server meshing, I don't know. Even if they have this server meshing, I don't know how they want to do this with. Because Chris Roberts said one time, I remember, there will be more than 90% of NPC living, and the rest should be the players. So, I don't know. At the moment, 10 NPCs or what? So, it's very.
Yeah, I mean we're
sad.
like it's still in early development after all.
Yeah.
So
Very early.
So do you have anything else to end it with? Because Star Streams is waiting. For
I don't want someone to wait here. I'm just happy that I was here. I wish you all a nice year, the best. And
thank you for joining.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.
See ya. And the next is the guest of honor, Star Streams. Star? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello. Are you AFK right now, Star? Did you fall asleep? Oh, he left? I think his Discord died or something. All right, give it a second. Okay, he's back. Hello.
Hello, sorry about that.
Hello. Isn't it like 2 a.m.?
Kind of. No, it's it's 20 to 12. But it
Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah.
feels like everything
My brain.
24 hours. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, I'm buzzing for 318 to the point where I've dropped down to 3174, whatever it is, because it's just 318. It's just not working for me at the moment.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for them to come back and like work a bit on it so it can be a bit better and in a bit more playable state, because right now it's just like, at least you can leave the pilot seats, right? So they
Yeah,
they fixed
right.
that.
Yeah, completely. So what's the general vibe then? I'm gonna be your counselor, Grumpy.
You're gonna be my counselor.
I'm gonna be your counselor here. And by the way, hello everybody in the chat.
If you wanna introduce yourself, or should I do it? Star Streams, he's a YouTuber and a streamer. Check him out. I'm gonna actually post a link in the what's it called? The chat.
Doodah. We call it Doodah. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the letter came out, didn't it, from our Lord Savior? And,
Yeah, you weren't here. I read it out completely. It took me an hour.
Wasn't it a copy paste from last year?
What did you
Wasn't
say?
it a copy paste from last year, or
Well,
what were the-
basically yes, except the replication layer thing that needs to be separated from what's it called, the PES, and now we need that for server meshing.
Yeah, I've got some concerns about the server meshing thing. I don't think it's starting to look like it's not going to be true server meshing, but a kind of half and half situation. Do you think on that?
What do you mean by that?
Like a shard kind of multi crossover kind of weird overlap situation with individual servers that talk to each other rather than a true kind of like MMOs are at the moment.
He said that you will go to Pyro without logging off, which doesn't mean that you will not have like a loading screen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the most exciting things for me right now, and I'm punching the air when I say this, and I'm sure other people will agree with me, but the move all button is a game changer for me. I'm going to throw some positivity in there because the move all button is huge for me. Honestly, it should have come like 9 years ago, but it's such a great thing. I love it. I was just moving bottles of cruise from one side to the other, just multiple bottles and not using voice attack. It was amazing. Loved
Amazing.
It. Yeah,
10 out of
literally
10
groundbreaking.
IGN.
AAA stuff.
But like I can agree, but also as you said, like it should have happened like 10 years ago. But we touched upon that topic with one of the previous calls. We were talking about salvage and vulture, and the vulture getting its crafting. And I was like, if we are happy with that being crafting, what are we doing with our lives? Like, it is the tier -1 iteration of crafting, right? Did you even see it, Star?
I saw a bit of it.
So basically, on the what's it called? Dispenser. So on the dispenser, you can go into another menu and you can craft a multi-tool and a tractor beam. But for that, you need 1 SU of salvage inside of it.
Hang on. This was on the salvage ship, right?
Yeah, on the vulture. But
Yeah.
it's still not in. It's going to be in the next PTU patch.
Right, because I pressed the button and nothing happened. So that's answered my question.
Yeah.
I wasn't that bothered about it because as it stands right now, shock horror, and I'm sure some people will agree with me, salvage is a new shiny toy that everyone loves for about 4 days. But the reality is that it's quite shallow gameplay. You're literally power washing simulating. But I guess the multi-layers that are coming hopefully soon will make it more exciting. But for now, it's a non-loop for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, me too. Also, you don't really earn enough money for the time that you spent on doing that.
Oh, hell no. It's really low pay unless you've got an org that's really well oiled that's doing the retaliator. But it's still not. I guess the idea would be to completely destroy the Quantanium gameplay, to push people over to the salvage gameplay, and then you'll make more money. So they've probably done it.
Well,
that way.
I mean, yeah, but still, you can do a prospector run in an hour, or if you have an org, as you said, a well-oiled org. You're gonna have like people scouting out for Quantanium on Luria, for example, and you're gonna get to the Quantanium much faster than you would when you were if you were going there alone. And then it takes you 10 minutes to break up 8-ton rock that has like 40% Quantanium in it. You can fill up 2 prospectors with it.
Yeah,
and that's like, all in all, that's like 640,000 alpha UAC. But for a vulture, it still takes you an hour to like fill it up, or maybe even more. Like if you were lucky.
I guess the interesting thing about the vulture is it's going to be used not to go to a random crash site and strip a random MSR. It's going to be used to strip each other's ships, right? That's what it's ultimately going to be used for.
Yeah.
So that'd be
But
quite fun.
you're not gonna really fight in it. So
I don't
having
know,
a vulture there just setting is just like having a target, basically.
I've seen so many little yellow legs on the floors of planets and moons lately where they've just fallen off. It's great,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not fighter ships, are they?
Yeah.
You can't even man.
I tried doing mounting missions, and it's so hard. I got to what's it called, medium threat, and it's so hard to fight with the vulture. Like you have 2 size 1s for some reason.
Why have
one
you
of
got
the-
guns on a vulture?
Yeah, you got 2 size 1s.
Why though? It's a salvage. I mean, it's not going to
to defend yourself from, I don't know, mosquitoes.
from Avenger 1. I don't understand. Why are you fighting in a vulture? Just give it like extra boost to get out of there, because honestly, you're mad to fight in a vulture.
Yeah. I mean, it does have extra boost. It has a lot of boost, like compared to other ships.
Is it pretty quick? I haven't really noticed.
It's not that quick. It's like a cutlass, so it's medium speed, but it does have a lot of boost, and I think it's a bug, honestly.
It's
'Cause,
about
like-
solid as a cutlass black as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, what are your expectations for this year?
Stability, that would be nice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not crashing every 5 minutes. And by the way, not just the 30k thing. I'm talking about desktop and verifying
Mhm.
files and crashing your machine to the point where it freezes. You know, that would be quite nice. Just stability, please. Stability, CIG. Thanks.
So, those would be your demands.
I would
What are
demand
your
it.
expectations?
I
though?
would demand it right now. Yeah, I mean, as a gem rock miner, which is what I am ultimately,
Mhm.
and that's what I focus on and what I love. Just not crashing to desktop when you're trying to fill up a ship with Hadnite would be quite nice. Thanks. But you know, it's gonna things will happen, and you know, this is alpha, and we shouldn't complain. Blah blah blah. But it's a bit annoying, isn't it?
Oh, it is a lot annoying. Like,
And hands up in the chat right now. And I don't know if you can do a hands up, but can we do a hands up in the chat? I don't know if you've got emotes to do that. Who
it's
was
YouTube.
spent-
I have no idea.
Who was trying to connect to 318 when it dropped first day for about 5 hours?
I
Who
did.
was doing that? I did as well. It was like menu simulator, wasn't it? It's great. Loved it.
Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't just 5 hours. It was like the next day too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and then it all
Yeah.
calmed down when people just either gave up or did something else. Or
I think Salty Mike's post on Spectrum helped it with a reasonable request.
well, he's
Did
in,
you
isn't
see
he? He's in. He's powerful with Salty Mike.
Yeah.
He's in with all of them. He's best mates with Chris. We all know it. We know
Yeah.
about the streamer privilege, right?
Well, didn't you hear? There's like a rumor that Chris is actually his dad. He actually
his
told
dad
me
and
that.
his brother.
Yeah.
Listen,
Funniest
look,
thing.
they're doing hands ups in the chat. Look, well done, Bat and,
Oh,
and thing. Well
nice.
done. Yeah, you've got some hands in there. Nice. Interactive, see? Quality
Yeah.
content, like and subscribe.
I can also do a poll. I don't know if you can do that on Twitch, but yeah.
Oh, we don't talk about Twitch.
So you don't see server meshing next or this year.
Oh, I don't see it until at least 2024.
Hmm.
At least, I mean, why would we? I mean, we're not going to have another system for 2 years, are we? So why would they do server mesh? It doesn't make any sense. We've got 4 planets. Let's just enjoy those 4 planets. Let's just enjoy them, Grumpy.
I love you. Yeah, like your positivity, even though you're like even more grumpy than I am, it's just amazing.
I'll tell you what I am. I will say I am very grumpy about one thing, and most people don't care. They don't care because it doesn't impact them. The scanning, right?
Oh,
the scanning on the Grey Cat Rock. Okay. Now, no, most people here will not care at all on this, but this is my thing. The Grey Cat
I do.
Rock.
I love my GRC gameplay.
If
honestly.
you're in a rock right now and you come out your ship and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go to these one Hadonite cluster that I've just found. You can't find it. It's gone. It doesn't see it anymore. In 318.
Yep.
There's no ping. It doesn't show it anymore in 318. It could just be a PTU thing, but for me, it's a nightmare. So when I land, I have to point my ship to where the cluster is.
Yeah.
And then I come out the ship and then I'm in my rock. Right, where's my ship pointing towards? It's somewhere over there. Brilliant. But
Yeah.
hey, you know,
Well, I mean,
Alpha.
it could be a bug, right? So if you made an issue council report and then if you posted it on Pipeline and on all the Discords and all the chats and everywhere, maybe they're gonna fix it, right?
Yeah, I like what Touchstone said. Make scanning great again. We should start a campaign, and I want you to be the figurehead of it, Grumpy. I come up with a song slogan. We'll do a beat. We'll drop a beat. We'll put it on Spectrum. They'll love it on Spectrum. They love you on Spectrum, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Big fans.
Big
But,
fans.
We'll drop a beat and we'll talk about scanning and we'll talk about all of that because that's close to my heart. I'm not a PvPer. I'm the worst PvPer in Star Citizen. I do
That's not
accidentally
possible.
kill people. No, I have accidentally killed people, but they were accidents. So
Amazing. So, okay, so out of all of the things that they're working on, what do you really, what are you excited for in this year?
this year,
Yeah.
well, what I'm mostly excited
Is there anything
about,
to be excited about this year? That's the question.
No. I'm excited to continue the enjoyment of exploring the game and going, wow, this looks beautiful, and enjoying the rock mining, which I love. I'm excited for the move all button. I think that's incredible. I love the fact that you can now stack gems, which is a godsend for me. But I wouldn't say excited. I appreciate those changes. But equally,
Did they fix
broke
the move all when you're looting? Or
Yeah.
is it?
not off bodies.
Ah, okay.
Not that I would know because I don't kill
That's a
anyone.
shame.
Right? But no,
You're just a
because
pacifist.
your chat have all done it. I'm sure where you just loot a load of bunker bodies and stuff them in the back of an Argo cargo or something, and then strip them all and then move or whatever. But you can't do that now because they've got wise
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I blame.
You got to take off the med pens and the magazines first, and then you can move all.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, why do that? That's a hassle. If I want to strip dead bodies, I want to be able to do. Sorry about your monetization thing here. It's probably YouTube bots that read this chat. Are probably
Dude, most of my videos in the past
Really?
month got demonetized. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
somebody kept on reporting me or I have no idea. But
There's
most of my videos got demonetized.
big change on YouTube.
Yeah,
Happens.
I got to
don't
stop
use them.
swearing, I guess.
Yeah, I know. You could do what I do and use innuendo. Like a lot of, I say that's what she said a heck of a lot on live streams, to the point where I've got a button.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I don't swear. But
Yeah, but I'm basically I'm from Boston. I say the F word every time I'm trying to think of the next word or how to pronounce it. So that's why I'm swearing that much. I'm not just being an asshole to be an asshole. I'm just being Serbian, right?
I don't know. You're the first Serbian I've ever spoken to.
Yeah. Well, we are not all like this. Most of us talk like this, like Russians, basically.
Oh, but I will say one thing. I was playing GeoGeyser the other day, and I did.
Oh,
land
I'm
in
so
Serbia.
sorry. I didn't play with you.
No, it's all good. We landed in Serbia.
Oh,
You
really?
would not believe it. Don't ask me what the town name was because it looks crazy weird. But
Is there a VOD of that? I want to see it.
I think we did it. It happened offline. It happened when we were doing
that's
practice runs, and it was Serbia. And I said, "Grumpy, we'll probably see Grumpy Eye kicking a cat or something here." I did say that.
Kicking a
I,
cat.
I know you don't
Sure.
kick cats. You kick dogs. But the point is, what was the point? I've forgotten. Oh, the move all button. That was the
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
And that's it. Okay. I love you.
Oh dear.
It's like the move all button is the biggest change that we got in this year, honestly. And before that, last year was the call ATC button that we got.
Or the sell all button.
Yeah,
It's just buttons. I'm just
Yeah.
obsessed with buttons.
it's amazing that they don't. Honestly, it feels like they don't even fucking care at this point. They just give us the tier 0, and then
Right.
okay, a year later or more. The inventory got released in 3.14, right? So it's been like a year and a half, and we still don't have this in the PU, the move all button in the PU. So it's a year and a half for the move all button. Amazing.
Yeah. It's exciting times.
Serbia is the only country that the defensive alliance NATO never attacked. I don't want to go political, but Google for Serbia 1999. Anyway, So, realistically, do you think that this year is going to be a good year, Star?
Now, you know how that fell for Morph, and he predicted things, and it didn't work out very well for him. But,
Okay. So you don't want to see it.
no, I'm not sitting on the fact. I'm going to say no. It's not going to be a good year at all. I think
Yeah.
I can't see any exciting thing. Yeah, if they were to talk about farming and getting a little plot of land and a little like a little unit that you can put some flares in, I'd be all for that. Grow your own plants, whatever. But no. If they were to say, here's a load more systems or pyro or something, yeah, but they're not. And so we're still orbiting or trying to orbit based on whether the star map's going to let you or not, trying to orbit around 4 planets.
Yeah.
And what, 12 moons or something, or 16 moons, I can't remember what the number was, what the magic number. And by the way, for a rock miner, 9 of those moons are useless anyway. So there's only 3 moons and 1 type of gem that you can go for anyway. And I know that if you're a Quantanium miner, you only go for Quantanium and you ignore the rest. So at least give us a magic secret gem or a magic secret rock that we can find once in a month or 2 that pays out like 1 million or something, and we all
That would
punch
be
the air.
amazing, right? But that would
Let's
be
see,
too much of an
golden
hassle
ticket.
for them. Yeah.
Golden ticket. Like, oh my God, it's like the bloodstone that I've been looking for 4 months. And then you get a 30k.
Yeah. Were you here when I mentioned my what I want to see in Star Citizen in the future? When I said that I would love to see a huge rover, like a Carrack size or even bigger rover that would be like a base refinery and the base for rock mining and for what's it called, for the prospectors to like refine on the rover.
A mobile base.
A mobile base.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
It would be awesome.
But it will also be a big bullseye for attackers.
Oh yeah, of course. But it would have like 2 turrets that would be size 1s. And you would have to have you would have to have escorts, and you would have to have SRVs to transport it from a moon to a moon. And the only way to sell, of course, is to grab like a Caterpillar and fill it up, or a C2 or whatever. But that will like incentivize people to like multi-crew more and to like, I don't know. Like that would be good to have instead of the Expanse, because the Expanse is just like another small ship that just refines and that's it, and you can go and sell from the Expanse.
Yeah, I mean, I was so disappointed in the cutter, because honestly, if you could get a Grey Cat rock in the back of that, it would have been my favorite ship. Apart from the Valk.
Did you not see my stream when I did it?
You had your butt hanging out the end of it. If you'd have gone into quant, you'd have crushed it.
I mean, I closed it. It was janky, but it worked. If you don't close the ramp, it's gonna work like the what's it called, the Nomad.
Yeah, but you're gonna kill the rock. Because you got to look after that thing. You got to upgrade the components in it, the power units and the coolers, and you got to keep it nice and tidy.
Yeah.
Those things are delicate. You've got to treat them nicely, stroke their arms and stuff like that. And then there's you just literally you just ram it into the back of the ship and slam the door on it.
Since you love the rock that much,
I do.
What do you think about the DS?
I hate it.
Okay.
I absolutely hate it.
So.
Yeah.
Did you try it?
Of course. I can't stand it. What does it do?
I mean, nothing.
I mean, it's let's look at the fact. It's more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Straight off the bat, more expensive. It's harder to turn.
It's the same in the game, though. At least it was. Like it was the same price in the game.
Yeah. But like, people argue with me, it's got more capacity. Maybe like 10% more capacity. You're always 5 minutes away from a place
it's
to
twice
sell
the capacity,
anyway.
But like it's getting 2 rocks. Like, why would you do that?
And move it into your ship for 30k protection, because the rocks don't have 30k. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into it because these guys are probably not interested in that. But and it's just a horrible machine. Like, why would I get out of my seat to walk around it to get into another seat to then mine? And why would you have 2 people, one permanently not doing anything? Like, just get them in a scout. You know what I mean?
And the guy on the outside is freezing.
And the guy on the outside is freezing, and it's stupid. It's really bad. Like, if you put 2 arms on it, I get it. I totally get it. But they don't, so it's useless. Stick with the rock and upgrade it and make it cool and look after it, and you'll be laughing. You'll be doing 200k an hour.
Yeah, that would be nice.
which isn't a lot.
By the way, just one question. Did you try rock mining but with a prospector?
Someone doing the popping with the prospector by tapping. Yes, it's great.
Yes.
It's good
Yeah,
because the
it's great.
scanning's pretty good on the prospector as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but I always
So-
have like a team of people with me anyway. So
That's nice. I just we have another caller and I gotta end it. I'm really hungry, but I have just one question for you. Were you happy with the letter of the chairman? What did you miss in the letter of the chairman, or what did you want to see there?
I mean, I wanted some commitments on time frame, like a proper commitment on a time frame, but that's not going to happen in a letter. But I mean, you're sort of going, third quarter, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really get to the end of it, to be honest. It waffled on a bit, but I feel like from what I've seen and heard, it's pretty much meh.
Did you read out the main thing about the replication layer and how it needs to be separated and how the PS needs to be hardened before server meshing? And
everything. Yeah.
oh yeah, so they need to under quotations harden PS, whatever that means, and then they need to separate the replication layer from the PS and from the servers to the cloud before they start working on server meshing. But then they also said that server meshing is going to come at the end of 2023, by the end of 2023.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not that bothered, to be honest, about the server meshing. I get it. It's important to move the whole project forward. But it doesn't really impact me so much. It impacts other people, maybe PvPers and stuff that want to get out and about, or explorers and stuff like that. It will impact them massively. But for me, I don't know.
Okay, one more question. What is the thing that I don't know if I asked you this, what is the thing that you will love to see in the future? Not in this year, but in the future in Star Citizen. For example, one of the viewers said that he would love to see more life on the planets.
With more AI, brilliant.
Yeah, more AI.
I mean, yeah, more variation on the planet. I mean, so I think the two big ones for me, I think I've already touched on, would be the farming, which is a long way away. Just being able to own a plot of land or something and have your own little area that is yours and you can grow things or whatever. I'd be happy with that, you know.
Yeah.
Or but then we're talking survival game. But then the other thing would be like expanding the gems and the rocks, you know, what you can find would be interesting as well.
Did you ever like talk to any devs or wrote about that on Spectrum?
I tend to avoid Spectrum as much as I can.
Yeah. Okay. That's you're a normal person.
Yeah, I go to Reddit for all my quality information.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really see that many people talk about the Rock. That's probably why they're not expanding Rock's game loops. That like, I think that we should start talking about that and like have maybe even a podcast or like a joint video where we like a couple of creators, I don't know, make a video or a podcast where we would talk just about that and how we can expand on the rock mining side of things.
Well, not I mean,
it is a starter thing, right? And we don't really have that many starter things to do.
Well, the thing is mining in general. I mean, taking it, Quantanium mining is slightly more popular, but gem mining is a starter, kind of almost a starter, like box missions, right?
Yeah.
So everybody does it when they first start the game, but then they kind of move on from it. So probably the player base is maybe 10, 15, 20% that do rock mining. So why would they focus that much attention on it, to be fair? You know, it's going in more PvP anyways, it feels like, doesn't it? Do you think?
PvP?
PvP, it's kind of more PvP focusing.
I mean, yeah, because they think that they have enough things for the solo players to do. And that's the issue. Like, yeah, they're focusing on like cargo factories so they can give the pirates their game loop. They are working on what's it called, the flight modes and all that. They are working on a bunch of weapons, and like the flak weapons and the incendiary ammo. and all of that. But also, like for that, you need to give the cargo holders or the miners an incentive to play.
Yeah, I mean, the industrialists will just move on to games like Satisfactory and stuff
Exactly.
like that. They will not stick around for long. They're
Exactly.
they're a loyal bunch of people that like to do mining and stuff like that. But even they will not stick around the game and the project if you know. And
Like
they're an important
for
part
example,
of the game.
For example, your example of what they can do to make rock mining or any other mining more exciting is like exactly that, just giving us a rare gem, a rare thing that we can mine and make a lot of money. Instead, they give us mining gadgets, which like, why the fuck would you use? It's like solving a problem that doesn't exist.
You've got this whole game loop of hand mining, and nobody on the Earth, on any planet, does hand mining unless they're stuck in jail. And even then, we're doing the missions, you know, the air missions, oxygen missions to get out quicker.
Yeah.
So what is hand mining? Why is it even there? Why is it a thing? You know?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Okay, you wanna because we have another core.
Yeah,
you wanna say anything else before you go?
Be happy. Merry New Year, and I hope you've all recovered from your hangovers or your bad TV decisions. Thank you. And like and subscribe. Cheers. Bye. Cheers, Grumpy.
Thank you for joining.
No problem. Have a good one all. Bye.
You too. Bye. So that was Star Streams. He's a streamer and he's a YouTuber. Let me try to post the link again. You go and subscribe to him because he's awesome, as you heard. And in the end, we have Auburn. Hello.
There.
What's up? Let me just change your name here. Is it Auburn? How do I pronounce that?
AU, yeah, it's Auburn. You said it right.
All right.
One of the few people that did it right.
Yeah, amazing. Let a Serbian decide how to pronounce names on the internet. I just gotta find it. Okay, there we go. And we're all set.
All right.
So what's up?
Not much. Yeah.
Oh, your microphone is a bit too low. You're at 200% on.
Could be better. Could be better like this.
Yeah, it's better.
It bent away from me. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So, you wanna introduce yourself to the chat?
Yeah. You all know my name already. I'm just a normal Star System player. I also spent way too much money on this game for my standards. I'm also more in the field of being more realistic about it, raising or like trying to raise expectations, more level-headed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much play PvP for the most part in this game. That's probably what I want to kind of talk about a lot here. A lot of ground combat. That's what I'm really into, at least in the game.
So when did you back?
About two and a half years ago, yeah.
Okay, like
near
me.
the end of 2021, yeah.
All right. So you're predominantly a PvP player, right? So
Pretty much. I do all the PvE stuff, but when I get
do you fly the Gladius or the Blade?
I actually don't do fighter PvP. I'm mainly FPS, right? FPS, and then that's also why I have a big gripe. I would love to play more multi-crew, but not very viable in PvP, right?
So
Yeah.
FPS, how does that work in Star Citizen with all the teleportation and all of that?
More, I usually play in orgs, right? So
Okay.
you kind of split the duty. So you have pilots, and when we actually do bounty missions and they're like hiding somewhere, right? I'm probably the guy who to go down there and actually get someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then org battles, right? Like org v org. That's where I really spent my money at, basically.
So you're the guy on Jumptown that's like inside Jumptown, right?
Pretty much. I would walk in from like a click on a hover bike. God rest my soul if I don't actually die on it, right? Try to sneak in and then grab a couple kills. Yeah, that's me pretty much.
Nice. I have a friend like that. He like came from Siege and games like that, and he really wants to like. But I don't know if I was playing with him, but a couple of maybe a month ago. No, it was another guy. Doesn't matter, from New York. So we were playing, and we had a bounty that was like hiding in a bunker. We went for him, and the guy like was sitting there. I turn the corner, I see him, I shoot him, and I'm dead because he, in the meantime, he teleported to another place and he shot me.
I've had those situations so many times, especially in Korea. Like, I see him past me. Like, I had a situation. See a guy walk past me to Korea trying to clear his crime stat or whatever. I shoot him in the back. He turns the corner after I dump an entire kana into him, and we trade, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm always in an orc, because then I have a guy that can get me up in these weird desyncy situations.
Yeah.
It's less frustrating.
That's always good.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your expectations for this year?
For this year, I really, really hope, and I made notes, that rather than adding more mistakes, they fix past mistakes they've done, right? Polishing the
Such
game,
as?
for example,
Mhm.
or actually finally expanding on PvP gameplay, which they pretty much neutered when they did the weapons refactor, meaning every weapon's the same outside of, archetypes.
Yep.
I hope we get some more expanded, maybe combined arms combat, right? Like, we already have stuff like the A2 that could drop vehicles in, but I would really love to see that expanded, especially in terms of the coordination. Like, you're on a ground vehicle and you honestly don't know where you're supposed to go, right? Because you have no navigation, right? So I hope that gets really expanded. The whole sitting on the ground and you don't know where you're actually going. I mean, you do not even get a compass in FPS, right?
It's
So,
amazing. Like,
yeah.
every other game has it, but like Star Citizen like neglects it. We had a situation on stream, the three of us, or we were on what's it called, a derelict outpost or whatever, abandoned outpost, and we killed a bunch of NPCs because they were like there and just standing and doing nothing.
Yeah, on
And then,
Microtech.
what did you say?
On Microtech, one of those outposts.
No, it was the new outpost on Daymar. It's in the PTU.
On the PTU, yeah.
Yeah.
I have
So,
been to one. Yeah.
so a bunch of people showed up, like players, and one of them started shooting us. But we didn't really know which one was it, and I saw the guy, and I had no idea how to communicate to my guys that were right next to me where that guy is. And my friend, he just started yelling, "South, south, south!" Like, what the fuck
But
is
there's
south
no-
here, dude?
Yeah, exactly, right. Like,
Yeah.
you would have to, like, that's what I found in the past 2-3 orgs I was in. You find ways, but it takes so unreasonable amounts of, like, work ahead of
Yeah.
time. Like, how do I do a call out in Star Citizen, right? Like,
Especially if you're
learning,
coming from like a game
Yeah.
like a Squad or Project Reality.
Yeah,
like
I
am.
play a lot
Yeah.
of Squad and Armor, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
coming from a place like that, you start learning actual, like, specific rock shapes in Star Citizen because they kind of repeat after some time, right?
Yeah.
So you're like big rock, small rock, medium rock, right? You learn that, and that's just I find that not just unimmersive, but it's so unpractical and just doesn't do it justice.
So, what are the other things that you're expecting to see, or
Yeah,
that
like,
you would love to see this
I
year?
kind of started on with the navigation, right? I hope we get
Mhm.
our updated star map this year.
That's probably gonna happen because of Squadron 42.
Yeah. I really hope we finally get some variety in PvP. I'm just gonna say more Redeemer Ion Inferno people here that kind of got ended the short stick when they got their vehicles finally.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was really hoping we get some more ground missions, especially like multi-stage missions, right? Where you have multiple objectives, not just go bunker, blah blah blah, and like kill some people, but actual objectives like maybe hacking being involved. You have to bring some certain equipment, bring a tiger claw, hack something, and then a bunker unlocks or something. Maybe that comes with the new underground facilities they teased, as they always do.
Let me just hop in for a second. So Ross asked in the chat, "Am I missing something? Because I always have a 0 to 360 direct on the top of my ships or vehicle HUD." We're talking about, we're talking about like PvP on the ground, like player
FPS
versus
combat.
player, FPS combat. Yeah.
So yeah, with that, obviously FPS radar. If that doesn't come this year, I already didn't play this year pretty much. I only played when PTU was on, tried it a bit, and was like nothing new, right?
Yeah.
That was
same as me.
Yeah.
I just gave up on this year entirely.
Yeah. I played at the start of the year. I played in my org, and then I was like, I'm stopped playing now. And like, I left my org. I'm not playing, right? Like,
yeah, my org is basically dead.
Yeah.
Like none of the players from my org are actually playing right now, which is amazing.
Yeah, the entire org just gone
Not,
from the game.
like seriously, for at least 6 months. I was the first one to leave because I got burned out because like doing YouTube, and like for example, just making a video on like different ships, and then you have to have like let's say a Sentinel, a Harbinger, and whatever, an Ion right next to each other just to make a shot. It takes you an hour just to make one shot. It's not because the game is slow or whatever. It's because of the bugs.
Yeah, like you just get sent back pretty much. Have to restart from the get-go.
Or in the previous patches, you go back where you parked your ships. So for example, I had a video where I did a bunch of like medium fighters right next to each other, and I started from All-Star and just like from Grimhex and went to Daymar to make a few beauty shots or whatever. And I had like 3-4 ships right next to each other, one of which was from my friend, and I came back and the ships were in the ground. They popped out of the ground, flipped over, and exploded. And I was like, motherfucker.
Sometimes they will just fly away as well. Like they slightly get off ground and the wind will just actually just take them, right?
Yeah, so I got burned out first and I was like, no, I'm not playing. No, fuck that. I'm just going to cover the game until this gets better.
Yeah. It's pretty much what made me leave. Like I just couldn't actually play the game anymore. Like there was always something, right? Always something that actually kept me from even playing, right?
Yeah.
That's just, I hope that gets better next year. And I hope they really address these issues, right? Because like, let's say we were actually alpha, right? I can't really help them develop the game, as we say, coping, right? Help them develop. But
since you're
play the game, right?
yeah, since you played squads, were you there in squads alpha, like during the alpha?
I joined in V10 squad like 4 years ago, roughly. So I wasn't there from the very start.
Yeah,
I know alpha was a very basic game. Like I know some people that played when it came out and was on crowdfunding or Kickstarter, right? Like I've known some people seen some videos how the game used to be, and it was solid already, right? They came out with a solid foundation of the game.
Well, because they already worked on Project Reality, on the mod of Battlefield.
A lot of the developers from PR are not even in there anymore.
I know.
Half a handful, right? Which is unfortunate. So
honestly, it's fortunate from my perspective because they don't really need to be there. The company, what became of that company is just like, no, I don't want to be affiliated with them.
yeah.
But like there was a couple of patches when they were completely bugged out during alpha. They were not really buggy as Star Citizen is. You wouldn't just like, I mean, sometimes you would step on a fucking flower pot and die, or you would have like your vehicle flip out because it stepped on a tree branch. But next patch, all of that got fixed. Like for example, we had I don't know if you were there. I really don't like it's time compression, so I don't know if this was in alpha or in beta, but we had an issue with people like rocket jumping around the map. Because if you point the grenade launcher like directly, like 90-degree angle below your feet, and you fire, you would just fly.
Yeah, I was not in that, but I found some other things that let you fly, like the pop-up targets letting you fly, stuff like that.
Yeah. Next patch, it's out. It's fixed. But Star Citizen, elevators, etc., not fixed.
Yeah. To be fair, like one thing I'm almost amazed by is how CIG refuses to build their game in a way where it's not convoluted even to themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like the way, if you just see how the elevators move around the map, right? Like that's completely unnecessary. They actually move around, right?
Yeah,
circulators get launched, right? Like they could just teleport you to wherever you need to be, but I guess that's not an option because we have actually, like, I guess the stations actually move around, right? So then they can't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
They
'cause-
simulate. They don't. It's not real orbital mechanics, right? But they simulate orbital mechanics, so that you're never in the same coordinates. So they couldn't use teleporting, I guess. That's at least the excuse.
I mean, they
get
could
now, right?
because it's just like connecting nodes in a
Exactly,
like a
right?
program. But yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so what else are you excited about in this year, or what do you expect to see, and what is the reality?
Maybe not expect, but I really hope they integrate an actual system for organizations, right? Like
Mhm.
actually in the game, I could set up groups, right? Because right now the party system, as soon as you exceed 12 people, it's just a mess, right? You have
Yeah.
all these markers in your face. It doesn't look good. It's not helpful, right? I really hope we get something like that that just expands on that. I want to touch on the rock cave mining, which he talked about just now. Star did.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I'm amazed because the rock was supposed to be for like diving down into caves, and here we are. They added a new cave, and they didn't use that opportunity to make the cave in a way where that could be possible, right?
Yeah.
So once again, they're like doubling their workload by not clapping two birds with one stone, right? It's every time, right?
It's just amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same with the cutter. They made a cutter. It's almost the size of the rock, but it's not.
Yeah. Although I'm not super in defense for my ship has to fit a rock, right? I'm completely chill with that. Like if the ship doesn't fit something specific, that's cool, right?
That is
But,
true, but also it's a starter ship, and the rock is a starter mining
yeah,
thing.
it's
So
entry level. Yeah, we established it. Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
what else do you expect to see or
I don't
not
have
see?
many more expectations. I could go into more detail.
So no
like,
server meshing.
I don't even care about server meshing. I guess I really hope that they bring in the flight mode changes they've announced, because if they don't come this year, like why did they even tease that, right?
That's just not even on the progress tracker.
Yeah, that's just a huge tease, right? Like,
Yeah.
You're expecting changes now. Obviously, A1 says this, and a lot of PvPers say you can still fly and learn it, but it's still a bit of a kick in the balls. Sorry, to know like, okay, I'm learning this, but it's gonna change, and like I definitely have
Did
to
you
relearn
just
some of
swear?
it,
This is a Christian channel. We don't swear here.
I did, yeah.
Please
No,
continue.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, all good. Yeah, I really hope they come out with change, because I have actually really like looked into what they changed, like really looked at the details they gave, right? And just the flight mode change itself could bring like a big PvP change, especially multi-crew ships to single seaters, right?
Yeah.
Like I really hope that's how it turns out. I expect it actually, because of how they showed us it works, but yeah, if it's not even the progress tracker, either they actually finished it because they said they just have to do UI, or whatever, right? Like one can hope.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but the flight mode changes were announced like 4 years ago. Like they said that they're working on it, and then was it a year ago? No, it wasn't. This CitizenCon when they showed us how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But like, it's gonna work the same as it worked before, prior to 2.6, I think.
Yeah, I think roughly the same, like in the same kind of mechanical sense, but
Yeah.
a lot more gamified, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's how you would say it, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot more straightened out for actual gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like they went away from that system because it wasn't working, and I hope that they know what they're doing right now, because they're basically putting in, well, not the same system, but it's almost the same, right, with some tweaks. And then like, are they like in 5 years from now, are they gonna say, well, we should probably like what did you say?
They're gonna change it again, right?
Let's change it again to this model that we have right now.
Yeah. Well, this model, I hope they never change back to it, because it just does not work, right?
Yeah.
Like, at least for high level play, right? Like, it's just frustrating. because every now and then you have to like
Thank you, Sir Crepitus,
reel in
for the
someone
20
that
bucks.
is just on crack, right? He's just flying at superluminal speeds and right?
Yeah.
I think one thing that I always wondered is, you know how you have extremely high G tolerances in this game, right? You can like pull 20 Gs without any problem, right?
Yeah, you don't
I
you don't
feel
like
like
phase out. You're just like fine.
yeah, you can pull like 20 Gs for 10 seconds and you don't fall
Yeah.
over, right? Like I feel like a lot of the high speed stuff could easily be fixed if people actually black out when they just full throttle, pedal to the metal
Yeah.
and pull like 20 to 25 Gs.
Well, it was better if you remember, like back in 3.12 or 13, you would fade to black, like or pass out.
It might be
much
just
easier.
after I joined. I don't know. That might be right after I actually started playing. I'm not sure though.
So
Well,
3.12 was the start of 2021.
No, I was like late 2021, like August.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I might have just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that, like, but maybe, yeah, like if you actually get knocked out, for doing these maneuvers and have to actually manage your endurance as a pilot, right?
Yeah.
Your stamina, and it could be the same way the stamina when running works. Like you, at some point, the heart rate gets so high that your G tolerance lowers, right? The higher your heart rate, the lower the G tolerance, or something like that. That would be. At least they could try it. That seems like it's a very easy tweak. They could just tweak the G tolerance of the players and see how it works out, right?
Well, I mean, you don't really know because maybe the G tolerances are fixed to something else. Maybe it's not the player. Maybe it's something else. Because, for example, like the internal components on the Carrack, you would say that the power plants, etc., are inside the Carrack, but no, they're actually attached to the outside for some reason.
Yeah,
so,
maybe it's all seat-based, right? You know how sometimes turret gunners black out way earlier, right? It could be seat-based.
Exactly.
But it has been pretty consistent between at least single-seat fighters. So
Helix in chat asked, why are there Gs in space? Because momentum and because you need to have Gs. The only
that's pretty much what it is. It's acceleration, right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just
Randall?
measured in Gs, right?
Yeah, it's changing the acceleration or changing the what's it called? Where are you going at? Just being hungry and stupid right now. So centrifugal forces and all that are going to give you Gs. So they need to be there, but also I can understand that people are weirded out because we have gravity in our ships, and like therefore, why isn't our gravity in our ships battling that? But also, like you gotta have G forces in space.
I mean, they have the system, but from what I see right now, when I like watch A1, it like he hardly ever come. Like it might also be because he's a better pilot, but even me as a very rookie, like single seat fighter, I never get into the situations where I even come close to blacking out. And I'm
me
like,
neither.
15, 16, 18 Gs, and like, well, what's the point of even having a system like that if it's just adding more onto it, right? I would say actually make use of that, right? It's already in here, and it's probably just an XML file that has to be tweaked, like a coefficient, right? That's pretty much it, probably.
Exactly. It also I fly without the G-force limiter, and and if you go uncoupled, I think I got like up to 24 Gs in the Gladius or another ship. I'm not sure, but it's just stupid, and you're fine. Like in real life, your face should melt off.
Yeah, if I like perfectly tricord, let's say at my arrow, which has nuts acceleration, right? Like I'm not sure how much it is in the arrow, like 18 Gs, tops out at 18 Gs right now. If you perfectly tricord, and you can pull that for like 15 seconds, you can just tricord along permanently, like until your boost runs out, and then you'll black out. But you're never in a situation, even remotely, where you have to tricord away in one specific direction for 15 seconds, right? That just never happens because you're already 20 clicks away by the time you tricord for that long, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to do that long, right?
Did you play DCS?
Yeah, I do play DCS, but I'm more into helicopters there, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love my Apache, but
Yeah,
like you probably flown the FA-18, and you know how like
no, but I've flown the Su-27 and F-15 from Flaming Cliffs, right?
okay, so that
Yeah.
the
The base
the
models, pretty
basic
much.
models, yeah.
Cheaper.
But even there, you pass out really quickly.
Yeah, like really quick, and those jets are not even nearly as fast as the ships in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Like our ships can go into turns at like 300 meters per second, which is Mach 1 roughly, and like in DCS, a jet fighter goes into turns at like what 600 kph, which is 180 to 250 meters per
Yeah,
second.
something like that. Yeah.
It's lower, right? And you pass out already there. Meanwhile, our ships can do more without even passing out, right?
Yeah,
It's extreme.
it's silly. But okay,
Yeah.
being a sim guy like I am, I have two questions for you. First
Mhm.
question: would you like to have? Because I posted this on Spectrum, and of course J3PT and people like that like roasted me for no fucking reason. Would you like to see um, a voice system, VoIP system, as we have in Squad, for example?
Maybe not by default, but if you could opt into it with like I said, the organization integrated into the game where you can
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
set up
Exactly.
channels, I would totally be for that, right?
Yeah, I would love that.
You can kind of do it if you like,
But then you gotta
cherry pick
switch.
some channels. You gotta
Yeah.
switch channels. What I've seen I used to be in Skunkworks, and then for a very short time I was in some other huge org like TSI or something. I was
Okay.
very brief time. In Skunkworks we used SRS, right, which is the DCS
Mm-hmm.
thing, right, and it works flawlessly, right.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to actual ground combat, having something more simplified actually in the game, I'd be all for it, right?
Yeah.
I'd be all for it.
That would be amazing. Okay. Next question: would you like to have more hands-on on your weaponry, like you have in DCS? For example, for your missiles to be, you fly the Apache, I guess, or like the helicopters, so they don't have really air-to-air. But for example, in F-18, in DCS or in real life, you would need to work your radar to get your radar
You need to
lock.
actually, you need to like slew your radar onto something, lock
Exactly. Yeah.
it. Yeah, that'd be really nice. I know that gets into like the sim territory where I think Star Citizen or at least CRG doesn't want to fully commit to, because when I heard like they wouldn't even do speed of sound because of how ambitious they would be with it, quotation marks, I pretty much rule out that they would ever go with that. But I mean, I would be down for it. But
Yeah.
that would be very specific. It could be maybe like how do I say, how it is in DCS where you have certain flight models that are simplified, right? That just work on keybinds.
Well,
And then you can
I'm
opt in,
more,
right?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
more talking about like the simplified models. I'm not talking about like
Oh,
the sim models that are really like you go into the MFD and you go dive deep into it and you like get
Yeah,
lost in it. Like
No, I get
simplified controls would really be good because like then you can buff the missiles, for example.
Yeah, I think
Because
also
missiles
with
currently are
flight
just there
modes,
for the other guy to like pop decoys and be scared, and that's it.
I'm really curious how missiles will turn out with the flight mode changes, because it's not clear, but from the interpretation I have, whenever you get damaged in your like speed boost mode, right, where you're actually fast but can't fire or have shields, it sounds like getting damaged in that state pulls you out of it. And I really hope that gets missiles into a place where they have a clear use, right? Like you intercept someone, shoot a missile at them, because the missiles are like size 1, 2 missiles. Even in the speed boost modes, they will still catch up, right?
Yeah.
So I really hope that that is a thing, but it's not 100% clear, right?
Yeah.
And they don't even have to change anything with the missiles. They just need to keep targeting, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like track well scam or whatever modes. Just introduce that to the game, and just like some work on the radar system, so it's not this like 90s arcade game where you just like click on a thing and it locks on and you fire 4
You
missiles.
tell
and
me.
it's just
I have a Terrapin in my hangar, and I really hope it isn't boring, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to be the guy that sits in his Terrapin and just plays AWACS, right? Like just
That would
tells
be
people where
amazing.
shit
Yeah.
comes from, right? But I highly doubt we're gonna get there, right?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe at least higher scanner range, so I could tell people what's coming. But probably I don't expect we'll get something like a data link, right, where we can get information from friendlies.
Well,
For a
Super
very long
Hornet
time,
was
right?
supposed to be that, the Hornet tracker.
No,
Was
I mean
supposed to
like
be
in
exactly
Star
that.
Citizen, right? Like
Yeah,
having
yeah, I
data
know.
link
Yeah,
to
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but like,
oh yeah, Hornet. Yeah, you said okay. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
thinking F-18 Hornet. All right,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this Super Hornet, the tracker variant, was
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah.
exactly that, like a scout that would just like be basically an AWACS and just tell people where the enemy is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Same with the Terrapin is kind of that way, right?
yeah,
Not as much. I think it's more for deep scanning, right? Where you
yeah,
like
it's for deep
really
scanning and
look
like
into shit.
exploration. But
As it's,
also, it should see ships.
Yeah,
But
for
I don't
sure.
see it happening. Not in this year. Not in like
No,
any.
like that. That's a ship that is really only useful for when orcs have an actual place, right?
Yeah.
Unless there's something really worth it to find, like they always said that you can find Bengal wrecks, right, and get them working again or something. I don't remember when they said that. Stuff like that.
No,
That's
that
the
was just
Terrapin is-
Jared's being
Yeah,
Jared.
yeah. Like shit like that, finding wrecks, I guess. And I really hope we get an expanded scanning system, but not this
Me
year,
too.
right? That's way out there, probably.
I mean, they're working on a scanning system, but I don't see it being in the game this year. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else before you check out?
No,
'Cause
I
had
do
all
not.
things,
It was very much fun talking to you. Thank you very much for having me.
You too. Thank you for being here. All right. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for joining.
All right.
And
See you.
good night and a happy new year. All right, guys. It's been, I don't know what the fuck happened to my camera. Give me a second. My camera just died for no reason. Please, camera, deactivate, and there we go. Now it's working. Thank you to all the guests that joined, and to Star Streams that joined, and it's just like, yeah, I love you, Star Streams, if you're still here. But thank you to all my. I'm really hungry. I'm really tired and hungry, and also I'm keeping my girlfriend hostage upstairs because, like, when I'm streaming, she can't really be downstairs, and it's a pain in the ass. But thank you to all my supporters on Spectrum, on Patreon. There we go, on Patreon and on YouTube, and Helix just joined. If you want to support me, there is the Patreon link down in the description of the video. I'm also going to be doing videos and all of that, but maybe you're going like watching this later. You can do it by going into the join button and the super chat and all of that. Thank you guys for being here. Happy New Year to you too. I love you. Also, merch. I made the merch store last year, like end of the last year. Still haven't gotten my merch. It's fucking amazing. Serbian customs are the best. You gotta love them. Don't full throat CAG, okay? No, I won't. But check out the merch store. You might find something funny for you to wear. People have told me that the merch is really good, like good quality. Still gotta see it. But other than that, thank you for watching, and good stream. Now released, girlfriend. Really hungry and love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah, ciao. And don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling to space, and goodbye.